Paramount. We're the mountaintop. We're the goddamn Statue of Liberty. Ready.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
But he looks different. Did they recast him again already? So, Super, the man of fate. This logo works because the word magnetic always invokes lightning, and the word telescope invokes a wooden sign on a treehouse built by the Little Rascals. Well, I don't know about you, but I only read Superman magazines for the articles. M4, Ron, is that the precursor to Megan? And is that the same Thomas More who wrote Last Rose of Summer?
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Smarter than the average bear.
Powerful than a locomotive.
Come on, Kal-El, do the locomotion.
Tall buildings at a single bound.
Weird they built a skyscraper in the middle of a public park, but...
The Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength.
Not necessarily strong strength, just a level of strength that's worthy of remark.
Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
We ran out of narration before music, so it's all you, Timberg. Okay, you can have one more, but this is the final frontier. Starlight, star bright, let me zap you with the beam tonight. Pride Rock is in Metropolis? Oh god, it's a D.W. Griffith film shoot! Everybody run! All these people are waiting to get their virtual cues for Runaway Railway.
What do you think of the professor's show now?
Now that they've added his and Marianne's names to the opening credits.
Nothing goes wrong.
Oh no, it's one of the fireballs from Chip's challenge. Honestly, the damage is shockingly minimal for an actual star bouncing down the road. I am impressed with the Daily Planet photographer's ability to get a snapshot of the exact moment of contact.
And I realize, gentlemen, that the safety of the public is of special import to you.
Dr. Venture?
Almost as important to you as my ambitions are to me. But you request that I give up my experiments which are the culmination of 30 years of dreaming and planning is impossible. Tonight, those dreams will become real.
And the legends were real, and they became men.
Under my control, it will be brought to within a mile of us. Then, after a close examination, I'll send it back again into space.
You're tampering with nature endangers thousands of lives.
Yes, and even at the possible cost of those lives, I shall continue my experiment.
This is just footage of the latest Tesla board meeting.
We're prepared to stop you.
And I warn you, sir, any interference may prove disastrous.
Side-eye and sachet away. We're stopping you, just like we said we were prepared to do. Ah, but the scientist has outwitted them with closing up a department store technology. Now to forward this comet to 10 friends for good luck. And 2 seconds of rest for the animators, and... spin the observatory! So it's not so much a magnetic telescope as a telescope that comes with a magnet. They're breaking down the Killer Dynamo's door, but what about Glenn and Mark Bell? That might be too deep a Homestar reference even for me. Take that, metallic vampire!
Listen to me, you meddling fools.
And your mangy dog?
Without that power, the comet is out of my control.
It's a real Walter Peck situation up in here.
Any minute. Stop! Do you hear?
They don't, because the generator also powered your PA system, buddy. Ah, 2 Christmas ornaments crashed into each other. Fantasyland doesn't let you pull the sword from the stone anymore. And Rodney realizes he's late to the Love Muffin pageant of evil. Boy, I gotta use comets for remodeling more often. The Keystone Cops versus the Keystone Comets. Well, I could safely escape, but why break old habits? Sometimes I regret having Jimmy Olsen put down.
City editor.
And part-time Redditor.
Look, Chief, the panic's on. The thing's gone haywire.
Ah, those curtains went, so now I can't.
Lois, what happened?
Well, this is a job for Superman. Or for Clark Kent to just take a leisurely Uber. Sorry, I gotta pee, so I'll run out the passenger side for some reason. Okay, now this is a job for Superman to give my driver only half a star. I know this hole anywhere. The Kool-Aid Man's been here.
Superman.
Are you all right?
Yes, for the moment.
Good enough for me. You're on your own now, Lois. Well, while I'm here, I might as well look into the Nickelodeon to watch this old W.C. Fields short. Batter up, and away! Not the only time in recent years Superman's trajectory has been completely thrown off course by The Rock. Oh god, that's obscene! It turned the car into a different drawing. No, our $5 footlongs. No, the $1 Billion Limited. And isn't that the same bridge the other scientists destroyed in the first short? This is just the greatest hits of super destruction. Okay, I'm awake. Stop pelting me with rocks. No, doing the exact same thing twice didn't work. This is the best way to get a face tan. Who framed this shot? Now, how is that skylight not broken already? Well, looks like the only thing I have to do is just clean up the mess the cops made. Anyway, this seems like a perfect place for a tetherball court. Da, 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 da. Oh, the G's throwing a light switch, Rabe. There, that's not too deep a Homestar cut.
Miss Lane, the control.
But I've never driven a stick shift telescope before. Boy, it's a real intense tug of war between this magnet and gravity. Philo's checking if his interocitor can withstand a sudden charge of 60,000 volts. I feel like it should be bigger news that when fully powered, this magnet is stronger than Superman.
Oh, Superman, you were wonderful.
You're pretty wonderful yourself.
Oh.
Okay, is it creepier that it really is him or creepier that she thinks it isn't?
To Superman.
Superman will return and maybe actually confront the scientists responsible for all this destruction. Miracles from Manicules. True Boardman, much better director than False Boardman. Ooh, Bill Melendez. It's a man-made miracle, Charlie Brown. Was John Sutherland trying to build his brand in a Walt Disney-esque way? Was his ultimate goal Sutherland Land? This was a bold direction for United Artists to take with Lord of the Rings.
My name is Dan Ferguson. I'm a writer.
I carry a badge.
My assignment was to explore one of the nation's leading research centers and show the effect of the work done there on all our lives.
Which was an odd assignment, since I write for Cat Fancy.
I got out of my car and started toward the entrance.
Well, the film noir narration is certainly putting me in the mood for an industrial
Going
film.
into the research headquarters of one of the leading rubber companies in the world. And I didn't even know what made a ball bounce.
I think it's
I knew I'd
sing-alongs.
find the answer before I left this place.
Well, time to enter control headquarters.
The vice president of research was to be my guide in this adventure.
Bill Melendez's animation is way more lifelike than I remember.
An assignment. What can I do to help?
Doctor, I'm here to uncover some of your man-made scientific miracles.
For example, magnets, how do they work?
In school, I'm a babe in the scientific woods, if ever there was one.
I am very much not enjoying how much this guy looks like Matt Gaetz.
Very open and at the moment very empty.
I'm what the kids call a himbo.
How to start my story.
Here's one possibility.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of
Might sobering
times.
thought. But if it hadn't been for what you hold in your hand, we might have lost our national neck in World War II.
Synthetic rubber?
Precisely. The battle to make man-made rubber.
The Battle of the
The
Bounce.
greatest example of industrial teamwork in our nation's history.
This rubber guy is the Negaverse version of the plastics guy from The Graduate.
Example of our way of life at its working best.
As I sat there listening to the doctor's words,
I zoned out profusely because nothing is more boring than the history of rubber.
Fortunately for America, one rubber company had been working long before World War II.
The smoke's moving like a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
General-purpose man-made rubber.
This
By
plant produced
1940,
bouncing ball
this
tests for
private
young
finance
animation
venture
students.
Was producing general-purpose man-made rubber.
Luigi's
The
Flying
plant in
Tires
Akron,
didn't
Ohio.
succeed because that was car-made
This
rubber.
production important as it was just a molehill alongside the 650,000 long tons of rubber the nation used in 1941.
Well, no wonder Spielberg went so over budget.
97% came from the Far East.
Oh, how racist is this about to get? It is the Far East, and Japan is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon.
The enemy's goal was the rubber lands, and she got them in a few short weeks. The rubber ships stopped coming. Not only our war effort...
No, that's just Butte, Montana disguised as the capital by Boris Badenov.
Uncle Sam faced the most critical period of his life. From Washington,
Uncle Sam works the mixing board at a megachurch.
And industry answered. The men in rubber...
Men in rubber, alien a clubber.
And in chemicals, formed a combat team to fight the battle for man-made rubber. It was a battle we had to win.
Yeah, that line didn't age well over footage of people running into the Capitol.
And at home. It was only 20 months after Pearl Harbor that the largest plant for making man-made rubber went into full operation at Port Neches, Texas. With the rubber we needed...
The rubber industry has its own mecha Koopa?
High gear. And we struck back all over the globe.
Ah, yes, rubber was the weapon that ended the war. I am become rubber bouncer of worlds.
We didn't know if we'd make it on time.
Doctor, I see what you mean.
It was all about rubber. That Hitler was just some nobody.
Here in my hand. But my next question is, how did you do it?
You might say the answer to that is right here.
This is the famous wall that Pink Floyd warned us about.
Man-made rubber grew out of our work with this material.
Just what is it?
It's Corroseal.
Corroseal. The entire planet is one big city.
You might call it a kind of cousin of rubber.
Rubber's the maybe, and Corroseal is the George Michael.
Related. Oh, come along. I believe we can show you what I mean.
Hey, it's a teenage Alfred Yankovic.
A good deal of the information you want in this film.
Ah, not since How to Use Classroom Films has an educational film so clearly shown us a different educational film. They're cousins. They're chemical cousins all the way.
Polyvinyl flexible materials and man-made rubber are closely related in many ways.
Through marriage.
The first of these, polyvinyl materials, comes from very simple beginnings.
Hey, this real film ripped its art style off from his daydream.
Limestone and coke.
Pepsi is unacceptable.
In the manufacturing process,
it's a descendant of Little Caesar.
Water,
Rapper.
plus electricity produce hydrogen and chlorine gases.
After work, this scientist is going to go get harassed by the Pink Panther.
Coke and limestone are combined.
That's how they made Ginger Lime Diet Coke.
These two gases are then combined in...
Remember, kids, always vacuum up your gases and then touch it up with a blowtorch.
And cool. And thus converted to liquid form.
To be drunk raw by contestants on Fear Factor.
Vinyl chloride.
The preferred audio format of hipster chloride.
A single drop contains literally billions of molecules.
Billions of molecules. Okay, I'm done referencing that. Looks like an orgy at Mr. DNA's house.
The catalyst, like
Tom Hooper's
who
catalyst.
never joins the rookie ranks, still gets plenty of action.
All right, you guys, fall in on the double.
Come on, soldiers, take me seriously, please.
The catalyst makes these molecules grow and hook together in long, strong chains.
Which Fleetwood Mac refuses to break.
This is known as polymerization.
Nothing wrong with polymerization as long as you're open and honest with your partners about it. They fuse into Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch and return. In this case, the process of polymerization results in the material polyvinyl chloride.
Polyvinyl foamylate.
But of no practical use until a plasticizer is added. The plasticizer's softening influence makes these workable. Thus was created a new material known as Geon.
Geon, Warrior Princess.
Products are made. A material which...
You are getting very sleepy. Not from that hypnosis spiral, just from watching this film.
Products which contribute to the safety, comfort, and the beauty.
Wasn't enough to watch humans watch this cartoon. Now we're watching cartoons watch this cartoon.
New flexible materials enabled research scientists and engineers to develop further their chemical cousin and to put man-made rubber into a host of constructive services for mankind.
Is this haunted glove actually stretching?
Man-made rubber has brought improvements.
We've injected you with 20 cc's of rubber. Your blood is basically a basketball now.
And surgical uses. Lighter, higher pressure hoses are on our first line of defense against fire.
Fires caused by our other chemicals.
Sturdy, longer lasting rubber are constantly.
God, Splash Mountain's lift hill is in terrible shape. This revamp is long overdue.
But despite the literally hundreds of other products for which rubber is used today,
as seen in this random tourism ad,
production goes into tires.
Yes, tires, providing a population for strong Badia.
Over 40 million cars ride the nation's highways.
It'll take 10 million more for it to be quite the achievement, USA.
And road safety is greatly advanced.
That tire damage doesn't look severe at all. I'm gonna go enter a paid parking lot through the exit.
The nation's trucks, tractors,
giant
construction equipment ride on heavy-duty tires.
Heavy-duty tires roll
than ever before. And jet planes land safely on carrier decks thanks to aircraft tires.
This isn't so much Top Gun Maverick as it is bottom knife conformist.
There are other advances almost beyond number, and always the work goes on to discover.
Meanwhile, at the Disney Ink and Paint department,
here in this
why is the lab staffed entirely with flashers?
Some of the true pioneers of our time.
These rubber scientists will all die of dysentery.
Microscope, assaulting the horizons of the
No,
unknown.
they shut down Horizons.
And each of their discoveries becomes another milestone on a road which has no end.
Much like this
they
film.
Continue their task of converting the dreams of yesterday to the realities of tomorrow.
Welcome to the realities of tomorrow.
Thank you, Frank.
Wrong Yankovic.
Did you find enough ideas to get a start on your story?
If I ever had any doubts about the importance of research, you've taken care of them once and for all.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, I also get super agreeable when I have to pretend I was paying attention.
Well, there's one thing I can't impress on you too strongly.
Rubber's really
Still
boring.
Only on the threshold in almost every scientific field. So see if you can light even more fires of scientific enthusiasm in our young people.
Light the building on fire, that's an order.
In the research scientist of the future lies our great hope.
Medicinal science is trivial compared to fake rubber science.
Don't worry, Doctor. That'll be in the story and letters that high.
We kill an entire forest for each issue of this paper.
You've been most helpful.
My pleasure.
Oh, I almost forgot. There was one final question.
This guy's a terrible Columbo.
Doctor, what makes a ball bounce?
Well, I'll tell you. We've learned to make a plane fly faster than sound.
Quit evading the question.
To create all sorts of new products and materials. Some of us have even learned to split the atom. But there's one thing not one of us knows. What makes a ball bounce? Do me a favor.
What's that?
If you find out, let me know.
That's the deal. Goodbye, then.
Goodbye.
Yeah, sucker, we know what makes a ball bounce, but I'll never tell him. Hey, where the hell did my kid go?
Sponsored by B.F. Goodrich, but without the decency to have Harry Von Zell annoying George Burns. Paramount, do we own Pluto TV too? Even we're not quite sure.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
Nice try, I'm not falling for that again.
Yes, Superman, the man with all the powers of a building super. He will receive your call to repair the dishwasher, then 3 days later pop in and blame your detergent. Electric Earthquake, as featured in the recent Disney Plus series Muppets Earthquake. Oh, come on, who broke the credits? It was difficult to make this arrangement after Action Comics and Superman Magazine's contentious divorce. It's going down. I'm Sammy Timberg. You'd better move. You'd better dance.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
They really got ahead of that Matrix bit. Trains and guns, the only things that worked at opening day Hang on, we've already done this bit. Superman can only be summoned via welding.
Superman! Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
He looks so pissed because as a reporter, he was just unverified on Twitter. Now it's always once upon a time in New York City. Yes, the city, home of the world's greatest establishing shots. Meanwhile, at the old Huntington Beach Rubies. Hey, I don't see any newt playing flute or carp playing harp. Uh-oh, it's Voyage to the Iron Reef. Keep an eye out for any crabs the size of a cow. If only the guy from Double Indemnity was here to tell me about the man-made miracle that is these rubber hoses. Well, this tea's been steeping long enough. Inspector Gadget? Those stairs lead to the Onceler's office. Boingy, boingy, boingy. Soon budget cuts will have them down to the weekly planet, or the monthly, or just occasionally planet.
And I still say Manhattan rightfully belongs to my people.
Oh, boy.
But just what do you expect us to do about it?
You have a newspaper. Publish the truth. Have the island vacated immediately.
It's fantastic.
Why, that's ridiculous.
Ridiculous? Maybe modern science will make you think differently.
Well, this is the first Superman villain I'm rooting for, so that's something.
I've never heard anything so absurd.
You know, from the look in his eyes, I'd almost believe he was in earnest.
No, he's just a harmless crank.
His people literally built the Empire State Building.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
So a villain in a superhero story whose viewpoint is correct, but whose methods go too far. I can't imagine anyone will ever try that again. Ba-ba-da-ba. Oh my god, she has a reflection? This whole time I thought Lois was a vampire.
Come ahead, Miss Lane. You wouldn't want to miss this story, I'm sure.
Well, I guess this depiction is not quite as racist as other cartoons. There's no turning back now. Has Atlantis been under Manhattan this whole time? You'd think someone would have noticed. Also, not the main issue, but these cartoons just take place in regular old Manhattan now. The secret lab has a spectator chair. That's preparation. Well, at least they're painting him as far more polite to Lois than the villains usually are. Oh, god damn it!
Just a precautionary measure.
Unnecessarily restrictive seating? What is this, Universal Studios? My god, he stole the decorative organ from an old-timey movie house. Now to begin his Captain Nemo impression. It's time for some gauge porn! Well, somebody splurged at Savi's workshop. Man, interocitors come in the craziest shapes these days. And set the built-in egg timer. Why is the periscope Mary Poppins' umbrella handle? Good thing I got the DTV converter on this old set. Yeah, when does this get interesting?
Miss Lane, get ready for the greatest story of your career.
Do all the bad guys have a manual on how to act when Lois stops by? Oh no, he's bug zapping Manhattan. One little Spock is racing along the ocean floor. Dun da 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 da. Boy, the Fleischers hated bridges. Ooh, the building's less rubbery than it used to be.
Come on, Kent. Let's get out of here.
But why? Been there.
This looks like a job for Superman.
So I'll just take my jacket off more casually than Mr. Rogers. The end. This time, rubble only stopped me for a few seconds. Ugh, buildings being destroyed in Manhattan. How many different ways can a cartoon age poorly? Pinocchio! You'd think the underwater wires would have electrocuted someone by now. Well, whenever there's wire and explosives, the only thing to do is start yanking randomly. Oof, right in the super balls. Okay, that cable did that on purpose. Happy New Year! Pull the poppers! Oh, this is why you always click eject before unplugging an external hard drive. Oh yeah, that's gonna take some industrial strength sealant there. That's a real gradual waterboard. Oh, that's why you always check the wattage on your bulbs. Everything's blowing up and the power's going haywire, but the elevator still works. Ah, well, this sucks. Restrained and wet, it is Universal Studios. Superman, slightly stronger than a vacuum. Yeah, I can fly, but climbing's more fun.
A girl is still down there.
A girl? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I gotta go see myself a girl. And with Superman out of the way, he can jumpstart a car. Then he closes and reopens the box, and the dynamite is replaced by a beautiful assistant. Guess I could have saved time by not escaping this hole. I have nothing to say to you, Lois. He just wants to blow up his lab before it can be taken over by Gyro Gear Loose. This was an even odder than usual episode of C-Lab 2021. Well, lifting a villain from below is a change of pace. And now we're just starting Newsies. Well, except for all the buildings that were already damaged, but hey. Oh, it's a time-lapse from rough sketch to finished art.
You know, Lois, the old island looks just as good as ever.
Clark, you're facing Jersey.
Thanks to Superman.
Superman will return and continue to uphold the status quo because that's the American way. Oh boy, a film forced on you by a door-to-door salesman. Okay, is this the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, or is this the 2002 TV series that was trying to be Buffy and Gotham? Wasn't William Finley the mad scientist from Nightmare Before Christmas?
Among the birds of prey are the owls, the vultures, the eagles, and the hawk.
Well, good night, everyone.
Hawks and vultures are often seen soaring majestically high in the sky.
The other two just tumble through the air awkwardly.
All birds of prey are carnivorous.
No, really?
Other animals. The strong talons of hawks and owls help them to catch and to carry their prey.
But you ask one to help you move and you'll just get a bunch of excuses.
The birds of prey have hooked beaks that are well suited for tearing flesh.
Or on a lazy night, opening a can of Chef Boyardee.
As the American eagle, nest in high places.
But some won't move out of their parents' basements. The end? Oh.
The barn owl sometimes nests in a hollow tree trunk.
Next to his neighbor, Henrietta Pussycat.
Sleeps at home during the day.
Oh, sweet, you got an Atari?
Barn owls are rarely seen, although they are found throughout most of the United States.
Found but not seen. We just sort of feel them while moving our hands around blindfolded.
They usually hunt their prey under cover of night.
Out of the night, when the full moon is bright, comes a barn owl known as Barn Owl.
Are set so that it can look in only one direction without moving its head.
Once they move their head, they can look Backstreet Boys.
The barn owl has keen eyes.
It has canines?
It can see mice or other prey at great distances.
It can even see that they're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Its highly sensitive ears.
Hey, you're burying the lead that it has fingers.
Of a field mouse far away.
So it's got fantastic vision and fantastic hearing? Geez, what a Mary Sue.
Have a soft fringe.
Just like the top of Curly Surrey.
Wings make no noise in flight. Thus, the prey has no warning.
All the cute critters are doomed. Enjoying the film, children? That is clearly a baby Skeksis.
And quite helpless. Later, a white down appears.
A white down, not to be confused with an Olympus Fallen.
The mother barn owl starts sitting as soon as she lays the first egg.
But even then, her shift lead tries to force her to stand.
Is 12 days older than the smallest.
That's the way they all became the barn owl bunch.
Baby barn owls are always hungry.
Yeah, so am I. Baby barn owls aren't special. The clacking of the Tiki Room animatronics is drowning out the music.
When half grown, the young still have the downy white coat.
Made of Dalmatians.
Later, wing feathers appear. and also the head feathers.
The head feathers connect to the wing feathers.
7 again a few days later.
Is this the real life?
When 6 to 8 weeks old, barn owl young are ready to leave the nest.
Yeah, it's easy when you're not saddled with student loan debt.
The great horned owl.
From the Black Cauldron?
Found in all parts of North and South America the year round.
No matter how many times you ask them to leave.
The ear tufts resemble horns. Hence the name, Great Horned Owl.
So we're just listening to this guy read the encyclopedia.
Large, powerful, and ferocious.
Ferocious? Well, gee, Josaphat. The cactus is also horned. Roll with us here.
It is often called the tiger of the air.
Tiger of the air, chicken of the sea, narwhal of the cliffside, water buffalo of the surface of Jupiter.
Has hatched its 2 young in an old abandoned hawk nest.
All birds of prey believe in squatters' rights.
Here in the Southwest,
seats aren't assigned, and the flight attendants tell bad jokes.
Often catch rabbits to feed their young.
Oh no, Bean, Oswald, Bugs, Roger, Fiver, run for it! Is that owl winking at me? Buy me a drink first.
They are ever on the alert for dangers. If a stranger approaches,
starring Charles Durning,
lowers and spreads its wings as if ready to attack.
This owl would later teach everyone else in the 100-acre wood how to be too smart for strangers.
The screech owl is found in all parts of the United States.
Stalking the Lisa Turtle owl. Grandmother Willow?
This one has a nest in a hollow fir tree. Its plumage matches the bark.
So, does the plumage match the bark? In this picture, there are 40 screech owls. They cannot be seen.
The baby screech owl has a coat of down.
A coat of down, 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 down.
It is well feathered.
Every fade to black gives me a tiny bit of hope, and every fade back in crushes it.
The snowy owl.
Companion of the Tintin owl, called the Milou owl in the original Belgian.
Only during severe winters do these owls go southward as far as the United States.
What does an owl consider severe?
Usually only as far as the northern states.
They're really only interested in seeing the Mall of America.
The snowy owl is white, except for dark markings.
Listen, film, no matter how much you tempt me with owls and dark marks, I refuse to make a Harry Potter joke.
The vulture is a scavenger, feeding mainly on decayed
That's not turkey vulture. That's emu vulture.
It is often seen circling high in the sky above a carcass.
But only one specific carcass. Can you guess whose?
The young turkey vulture has a white coat of down.
Seen it.
Which is later replaced by black feathers.
And all the fans rant on Twitter about the redesign.
During summer, turkey vultures are found throughout most of the United States, but they move southward in winter.
Yeah, that one up there moved all the way south to Ohio. Meanwhile, in the same country,
the black vulture is found only in the southeastern United States and southward.
South by Southeast, directed by Nega Alfred Hitchcock.
The black vulture also is a scavenger.
Look, this will go faster if you just list things that are different about these birds.
Head and upper neck are bare.
It's a bear, too? What is this Dr. Moreau crap?
Young black vultures have coats of gray down. But this will be replaced by black feathers when they are 3 months old.
And finally, they can live up to their name. Nominative determinism wins out.
The sparrowhawk is one of the smallest hawks.
Well, I figured if they're not calling it the mammoth hawk. Turkey, vulture, sparrowhawk, seagull, parrot, let's mash them all up.
The sparrowhawk nests throughout the United States and Canada, but many migrate to southern United States and as far south as Central America in winter.
Central America? What, like Nebraska?
The sparrowhawk commonly nests in a hollow tree.
Some of these eggs were later thrown at Michael Eisner in France.
This sparrowhawk has just hatched.
Let's bother it.
Feathers appear as it grows older, but the brightly colored feathers do not appear until the second year.
It's got to fulfill its freshman prereqs before it gets approved for brightly colored feathers. Man, can you believe this? Am I the only one seeing this? Come on, people.
The marsh hawk.
Fluffy puff marsh hawk.
Reeds and marshes throughout the northern and western parts of the United States and north to the Arctic Circle. The winter home extends from the United States to South America.
We could show you a map of South America to demonstrate, but we're not sure what it looks like.
During the nesting season, the The parents are busy providing food.
The children demand McDonald's, but the parents insist they have food at home. Oop, almost lost my balance there. These talons are great for grabbing, less great for standing.
Marsh hawks live almost entirely on field mice.
But they occasionally enjoy a city mouse.
The mother holds the mouse in her claws and with her beak tears the flesh.
Hey kids, Mickey went to live on a farm upstate, but he's still under copyright for the next 150 years.
The rough-legged hawk winters almost entirely within the boundaries of the United States, but in summer migrates northward to nest in Canada.
Just because the warmer it gets, the more they really crave Tim Hortons.
The rough-legged hawk sometimes nests on a high cliff.
Who gave Clavin weed?
A brood usually consists of 3 or 4 young. These young are nearly grown.
And these olds are still pretty young. Who needs labels?
The parent birds often bring rabbits or squirrels to the nest. But when food is scarce, they may attack other birds.
This is turning into an avian TMZ.
Are tearing apart the remains of a sparrowhawk.
Take that, sparrowhawk. That's what you get for shoehorning yourself into the Hawks of the Caribbean ride.
The red-tailed hawk is found in all parts of the United States.
Especially your attic.
In mountainous country, the red-tailed hawk often nests on a high ledge,
where it spends its free time pretending to be Batman. There, now this is a proper Birds of Prey short.
The red-tailed hawk preys largely on small animals, including snakes and fish.
This bird eats Satan and Jesus. Total religious anarchy.
2 months after hatching, these young red-tails are nearly full grown, and they are learning to fly.
Thank God they're not being taught by Raoul. Been a while since we've heard from the Eagles, so I guess they're busy taking the ring to Mordor. Okay, I guess the filmmakers had to cut this short before they just started throwing baby birds off of a cliff. And still more closure than DC gave their Birds of Prey franchise. Paramount, while you weren't looking, we just greenlit 8 more Star Trek shows and a Galaxy Quest.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
And he's assuring us that this cartoon won't be as racist as last month's. Superman in Technicolor, demonstrated here with letters so bright the color differences are barely perceptible. Ground she's moving under me, tidal waves out on the sea, sulfur smoke up in the sky. Pretty soon we learn to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Willard Bowski, he's got to be one of the Cooper kids, right? Look, sometimes you want more, but you know you ought to fewer.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Hotter than a volcano.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to soar higher than any plane.
8 episodes in, and the credits finally realized he can fly instead of jump.
The Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
Yeah, except for last time when he fought on the side of the oppressor, but...
Clark Kent.
Bali High?
On this peaceful island crowned by the great volcano Mount Mauna Kea.
Oh, good, another travelogue in a Superman short. Well, I hope this one also has a dinosaur.
The beautiful city beneath it in molten lava and creating destructive tidal waves that raced around the world.
It's Krakatoa meets Pompeii in the wackiest mashup of all.
A new and more beautiful city sprang up at its base.
It burned down, fell over, and sank into the swamp.
After centuries of inactivity, slight tremors are being felt.
Slight tremors. It's just the direct-to-video sequels.
Meteorology, a group of scientists watchfully check delicate instruments to determine the seriousness of this renewed activity.
Because the geologists who should be studying this are all on vacation. Oh no, the volcano's active. Quick, we need Tom Hanks and 3 Meg Ryans. Oddly enough, the disturbance was recorded with the glockenspiel. The volcano's causing it to slowly rain newspapers from the sky. Oh sure, Mount Mauna Kea trying to make me feel bad about lying on the couch eating chips and binging Frasier. Oh good, the US is getting involved. That always ends well. Why did the article include the reporter's awkward yearbook photos?
And I want you to send me some real stories.
Like 80 for Brady.
Steamship tickets, and here are your press passes.
You'll need these down there. Goodbye, good luck, and for Pete's sake, see if you two can work together for a change.
Lois, if you put another live snake in Clark's gym bag, I swear to God. Boy, the Queen Mary is mad. Whoa, juxtaposing the steamship smoke with the volcano smoke. It's like we're the real volcanoes, man. Look, the Skyway's not the most immersively themed ride, but it's cool to go through the inside of the Matterhorn.
We'll stop them commies from stealing our volcano.
I hate that the only clean outfit I had was my Sunday school dress.
That's funny. Say, Lois, do you have my press pass?
What makes you think I've got it?
Because I can see inside your
Sir,
bag.
You'll have to get one down at headquarters.
Thanks. You go on ahead, Lois, and I'll join you later. Now, what did I do with that?
Poor Clark. Too bad he lost his pass.
So she's straight up sabotaging him now. Lois and Clark hate each other more than the Lockhorns. Did the clouds swallow them?
And from all indications, we can expect things to start popping at any time.
Hope you like Orville
In order
Reichenbacher.
to save the city, we've decided to blast the higher rim of the crater, thereby diverting the flow of lava away from the city and into the ocean below.
So we'll just leave it for Aquaman to deal with.
Is the chief in? I'd like to see him about a press pass.
He'll be back shortly.
He'll be at an even taller desk, so you feel real emasculated. Marty's using Doc's amp. Okay, but where's the tall, skinny lady volcano it sings to?
Wait here.
Yes, hold all calls for Colonel Mustard.
Set up that car. Hello?
Oh, it just stopped because Eisner and Mickey are introducing Mary Poppins. I warned them against dumping a silo of baking soda into a lake of vinegar. Oh, that's why meteorologists studied it, because the volcano's shooting meteors.
Blast! Blast!
I need a Baja Blast! It's urgent! Oh no, these extras from a Tintin comic are stuck out of luck.
Look out! Oh, Miss Lane, this way!
Should I still go that way?
Oh, he's doing sad Keanu.
High stakes hopscotch.
That's a spicy meatball. Great superhearing, Clark. No witnesses. I could let her burn.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Here, I'll go out and change right by the front door, where anyone can see me. Boy, Discovery Zone has gotten intense. The death of Pride Rock. I'm king of the hill. Paramount gave that rock's grandkid the role in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, that boulder was a Nepo pebble. And the city doesn't get crushed by a boulder, but it does drown in a tidal wave.
If I'm gonna die pretending I'm on the monkey bars.
Oh, it's all right, everyone. The lava's just gonna destroy a Thomas Kincaid painting. In Technicolor! Boy, this grown-up reboot of Legends of the Hidden Temple really raises the stakes.
Oh, I can't shake the feeling I dropped my keys. Ah, crap, this looks so secure.
When visiting the volcano, enjoy the city. Oh, sure, you heard that. Okay, I guess she's safer on this ledge. What the? That lava just hit her in the head! I'm gonna save this rock. But not that one. So we just won't worry about the lava that already made it through the rock dam? Here, Lois, board this ship. You'll be safe on the, Titanic. I'm not going back to Metropolis without seeing the other side of the island. Da-da-da-da, deja vu. Oh, they're draining for lava treatment, so Grizzly Lava Run's gonna be closed for about a month. And the entire ecosystem of this side of the island is destroyed forever, but at least a couple of people weren't burned to death. Meanwhile, back in Anything Goes... Lava, exciting and new.
How's the story coming, Lois?
Oh, fine, Clark. Too bad you weren't in on it.
Maybe I would have been. If I hadn't lost my pass.
I lost my pass, so I can't see the volcano. A bad day at Disney Sea. Superman will return in the quest for a briefcase with a lock that Lois can't steal crap from. McGraw-Hill Text Films, come gather around and watch a book. The mouth and the nose never get their own movies. All right, we've already learned how to use the classroom film, and now we've got to figure out which one to choose. Since I'm a math teacher, I think I'll choose Aronofsky's Pi. Can't wait to see how many times this short uses the word well.
The lens of a motion picture projector is a brilliant, penetrating eye.
A great eye, lidless, wreathed in flame.
On the screen, the barrier of size can be surmounted.
Or just get a microscope.
Microscopic subjects enlarged to the point of easy visibility.
Beyond the realm of normal magnification.
Circumvented, as an extended process appears to be speeded up through the use of time-lapse photography.
But it'll still feel like it takes hours to watch.
Or as the past is recreated and brought vividly to life for your student.
I didn't know you could plow with the catawampus.
Barriers to understanding are removed as complex subjects unfold in simplified detail through the use of animation, which can diagram happenings that often cannot be seen in any other way.
Until Disney greenlights the live-action remake.
The eye of the motion picture projector cuts through the barrier of distance to let students observe people and places half a world away.
And develop really reductive views of their cultures.
Witness the drama while they consider the problems of our times. And finally, students can see through the use of classroom films what they need to understand as they develop their skills for the future.
So this one's a sex ed film, or?
The lens of a motion picture projector is an eye.
Yeah, established. Move on.
Stimulate.
Oh, it is sex ed.
Motivate. Educate your student.
Take it from me, the love child of Phil Collins and Gene Hackman.
Like any eye, it must be pointed in the right direction.
I think you need to watch a film on eyes.
Activity. Behind the eye, there must be a brain.
Well, now you're asking too much.
Making the selection. Choosing the perspective that serves your goals.
A film that serves Dave goals, I mean. Gotta make sure there's a meaty role for Gonzo. I feel like printing the word goals on a screen was a waste of department resources.
The classroom have several purposes.
It lets you sit in the back and take a nap.
The film to know that there is a connection.
It's all connected, man.
Film and the techniques used to achieve that purpose.
Illegal back alley techniques.
We'll consider the first of various purposes for which classroom films are designed.
To stall for time while you write the next test.
To communicate information.
So to teach,
now,
like in a class.
Techniques are most often employed in information films. Well, one technique, obviously, is a factual presentation, with the camera documenting actual events so that they become visual experiences.
Like a vlog about dinosaur robots in a mall?
From two films, which illustrate distinctive techniques for imparting vividness and immediacy to factual material. The first film documents life in a woodlot.
Oh, the woodlot. I know my generation's nostalgic for it, but I just don't like baseball movies. I am reasonably certain I already riffed this last month. Well, at least the score's pretty.
Trust in me.
I swear, if that jerk thinks he can get me to bite from the fruit of knowledge.
I'm just looking for Brittany. I want to apologize for giving her hives.
Look, I'm out of Sparrowhawk jokes. Show me something new. This tree is going to get struck by lightning and turn into the Bruckheimer logo.
In unchecked supremacy, it was the hawk that got the snake.
In the library with the lead pipe.
The twist which brought death to the snake brought a reprieve to the grouse chick, but a grouse fell prey to a fox.
Oh God, it's somehow both an animal snuff film and vor fetish porn.
The unfit and the foolish.
Sorry, I thought that would be more interesting.
In this story of life in a woodlot, the filmmaker took his camera to the scene of the action. He documented facts carefully and accurately at the moment when they occurred.
Then he shoved a bunch of lemmings off a cliff.
Students see the real thing. But Let's take a look at another excerpt from a film in which the subject matter required the substitution of an actual event for one as nearly like it as possible.
We've secretly replaced this film with Filmer's Crystals.
Children of the Wagon Train.
So this is a direct-to-video sequel where the same plot happens to the kids.
In learning, I guess. Sometimes after a day of traveling,
Alfred Molina?
keep your mind on it.
Linkara? Norman Bates' mother?
We all like the part where Mrs. Crawford reads to us from the book. And I know everybody would like to be able to read from the book, too, someday.
It doesn't have the same effect when she just describes to us where Waldo is.
Tonight we have a real treat. Pa has shot us a prairie chicken, and we have fresh meat for supper.
Sister thinks she can improve on the recipe, but I doubt it. You'll never amount to anything, young Cordelia. That is one sinister-looking wagon.
Singing after supper, but today has been long, and tonight most of us are ready for bed at sundown.
Where was Michael Landon?
In Children of the Wagon Train, historical material was reenacted in its original setting.
We shot this on the actual prairie where Mrs. Crawford died of dysentery.
It is factual information documented as carefully and accurately as the filmmaker can recreate it.
I demand my pioneers have period-accurate feathered perms.
In assessing films, remember that the characteristic of the film to communicate information is quite
extreme close-up.
Whoa! The documentary technique, showing action as it occurs, or an event which has been reenacted so the student can look back into the past.
And make fun of the past on YouTube.
The documentary technique, in its two variations, is the technique most often used in films designed primarily to communicate information. But keep in mind that there is also hardly a classroom film in existence which does not in some way impart information.
Worthless information, but
the techniques you will see later in this film may also be used in informational films. Now, let's consider a second purpose for which films are designed. To change attitudes.
To change attitudes, the least subtly titled propaganda film.
Through which your students can more easily gain a new appreciation of themselves and the factors which shape their lives. Let's take a look at some screen examples. The first is from Understanding Others. It deals with a social situation.
Let's go back to the moment when Ben entered the room. Let's look at this incident again.
We'd need to have seen it the first time.
Are they laughing at me?
Well, I'm the only one here, so they must be laughing at me.
Behind my back. They think I'm odd because my clothes are old and worn, and because I have to spend all my spare time working instead of horsing around like they do.
Them, the horse from horsing around.
My whole life is different from theirs.
I'm 20 years older than them.
I begin to fit into their group. I wish they did like me. Maybe I could just walk over there and let them know that I want to be friendly. No, I'd better not. Why ask for trouble? That Ernie Davis, he'd probably make fun of me.
So even boomers anxiously imagine the worst-case outcome of social interaction, huh?
A bunch of snobs.
Before we comment on this type of attitude film, let's examine a segment from another one.
And forget what we had to say about this one.
We've waited quite a while, and we still don't have a doctor.
Yeah, that's American health insurance for you.
We're willing to do almost anything to get one.
We'll kidnap one tomorrow.
All right. We've got over 40 applications from towns in this state that don't have doctors. We're doing everything we can to find the man, but it's a tough job.
Well, how about these young fellows coming out of the medical schools?
This guy's just irate because he tripped over Johnny's bike.
Yes,
Mel Cooley's happier brother.
One of those young doctors. But there's even a problem connected with that.
And you'll hear it in our next exciting episode.
Understanding Others presents a look at a social situation in such a way that students can easily put themselves in the place of the film participants.
They, too, can easily imagine bullying that kid.
Yes. But over and above this, well, they tend to have some feelings about those facts.
And it turns out the facts actually care quite a bit about these feelings.
Different reactions helps awaken more mature student attitudes towards problems in human relations.
And that's why Americans handle human relations so maturely.
A common technique used in films to change attitudes
is gaslighting.
Is dramatization.
Oh.
It may be a dramatization in which an ideal reaction is stressed.
These days, my reaction to most things is stressed.
A film which helps shape attitudes by suggesting a suitable course of action. Or it may be that
these pictures were stuck on the cabinets when we bought the place,
which provides evidence of several different attitudes. Well, these two dramatic techniques are somewhat different, but their aims are identical.
To brainwash kids into conformity.
an emotionalized experience to which students can relate. A third purpose for which films are designed is
to give Adam Sandler's buddies a paid vacation.
To develop skills.
The skill of watching films.
Observe how skilled films are constructed. Notice that the camera is usually focused on the work at hand, giving the student watching the film a front row seat.
Which is way too close. Near the back is a better overall show.
Which to observe the step-by-step process without extraneous or distracting details.
And they only have to rewind the film 8 times to understand the step they skipped.
The technique of woodworking, joining and gluing.
Always joining and gluing, never cheesing or choosing a classroom film.
Develop skills.
Using the tri-square to guide you.
The tri-square area!
Across both edges of the piece, so that the dado will be straight and true.
And if you start to slide, give a little whistle.
Use a marking gauge to mark the depth of the dado.
Because the dado won't put her hands up and surrender.
1/2 the thickness of the stock. Using a block guide and back saw, carefully cut the sides of the dado to the proper depth.
You know, if this film's gonna fill time by showing me other films, I wish I could just fill times by playing jokes from other riffers.
Too large for the piece that must fit into it. Use the chisel with a mallet to remove.
Is this an adventure game walkthrough?
Chisel from both sides, leaving the cut high in the center. Smooth the bottom of the dado with a chisel or a router. The piece should fit snugly, but not so tightly that it has to be pounded in.
And that's as erotic as the 50s got.
In a film to develop skills, the technique most often used is one of presenting step-by-step close-ups of the process to be learned.
Wait, what's step-by-step?
We come now to the fourth purpose for which films are designed. To develop interest.
Yeah, A+ work there.
These films may impart information. They may even help change attitudes.
What are you going to do about it?
They are primarily designed to arouse interest. So they make use generally of interesting and unusual techniques. The film Manners in School employs fantasy plus a combination of live action and animation to arouse interest.
Oh, now this is unfair. Showing me a short that Riff Tracks has already covered?
Larry Carson. Yeah? It's almost time for recess, Larry.
This week, Spinelli takes Guru Kid's place.
Your turn to clean the chalkboard.
Oh, Miss Rand, we were gonna play ball at recess. Honest, you better get somebody else. Some girl.
But they love to run around, love to handle everything they see.
Your turn. Class dismissed.
All right, chalkboard, it's just you and me, Pilgrim. I see chalk erasers have always been as effective as mopping up a spill with a rag soaked in chocolate milk. In his free time, Larry designs mascots for local dentists.
Hi, Larry. My name is Chalky.
Look, we need to come up with actual jokes that haven't been done about this scene before, and yet these clowns got so lazy they ended their naming session after Chalky.
And run. And even jump.
Why can't you sit still?
Gosh. Ah, that's nothing. What's important, Larry? I'm here for a purpose. To do something about your manners.
What do you mean? My manners.
Manners like I'm a clown? Like I amuse you?
The use of interest-catching devices is not limited to films designed to develop interest.
I think you've mistaken interest with terror.
The primary purpose of a film, you will often find that the use of unusual camera techniques...
It's animation. It's not like a Vertigo-style dolly zoom.
Sometimes even poetical narration contribute to the film's purpose. The fifth purpose for which classroom films may be designed is to raise problems.
Hey, I don't think my students need any help raising problems.
Initiating and stimulating a class discussion in an area which students can explore and analyze, if not resolve.
Teach them life has no answers.
Such films make use of dramatization, but they have a special technique all their own, as we shall see in this excerpt from The Snob.
Oh, come on. Literally everybody's riffed that one.
Are you satisfied?
Is my hair flat enough for you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do we, since we just got here.
I don't know what business it is of yours if I don't want to dance.
Well, I think you did want to dance. You wanted to dance, all right, but you just couldn't pass up the chance to be a snob.
Ah, snob! That's the secret word! My snobber sense is tingling.
What's the matter?
Richie Cunningham to the rescue.
Sarah? Hey, Sarah, come back.
Lost World Jurassic Park is lower budget than I remember.
Why not? What's the matter? Can I do anything?
No. Oh, Ron, they're so mean and hateful. They don't understand anybody who isn't one of their gang.
Those cruel little rascals.
They do. They don't understand.
Mean it? Isn't there something I can do?
The snob, hurting everyone. Herself, her parents, her friends, other people.
Shut up, I'm trying to snuggle with this tree.
Act the way she does. Is it a cover-up for some lack she feels in herself?
How do you solve a problem like a Sarah?
Can a friend like Ron help her in any way?
Ron will try to help by suing Disney World.
Is the group justified in judging everything Sarah does as snobbery?
Well, if everyone's doing it, it must be right.
What do you think?
I think I'm glad the 50s ended and introversion was finally legalized. Frickin' McCarthy.
The special technique of the dramatic film designed to raise problems is the open-end technique.
Whoa, you can't be teaching kids about open-end techniques.
Or the unanswered question that grows out of a dramatization. Something to provoke discussion and an exchange of thoughtful opinion on problems which affect your students. One,
was that wipe necessary?
2, 3,
Demonstrating counting is the most educational thing we've seen.
5 purposes for which classroom films are designed.
Purposes that mark the difference between a wood grouse and a snob?
Between the techniques used in films and the purposes of those films. You may also have noticed some overlapping in techniques.
It's almost like this whole thing was a redundant waste of time.
The film to raise problems, for example, both employed dramatization. In the one, it was a primary characteristic. In the other, it was secondary to the open-end characteristic. Now, let's return to your goals.
My primary goal is to find public domain footage I can mock through snarky commentary because that's an easy thing to put out week after week.
You probably have already realized your goals are often almost identical with the purposes for which the films are designed. Now here again, overlapping is common.
Clearly, since you've repeated yourself incessantly.
Develop interest. Although you also may want to communicate information.
Okay, at this point, the film scratch lines make it look like he's behind bars. I'm not going to protest.
There is a great deal of flexibility in the ways you can use films. Now, some of this flexibility is the result of overlapping purposes and techniques in the films themselves. But there is even more flexibility possible in your adaptation of those films to meet your particular teaching needs.
And then I can complain when your adaptation cuts out the scouring.
Designed primarily to help develop a skill, such as the joining and gluing film.
Starring Peter Sellers.
Emphasize some special element in it, such as asking students to watch for examples of safety practices. Now, when you do, you're using a
kill switch
skill film
as a sleeping aid.
As an attitude film.
Attitude films like Mountain Dew commercials.
Consider your students and
okay, now they're showing us footage from how to use classroom films. These films are cannibalizing each other.
What you want the film to
Fred McMurray's going to break that kid's glasses with a trumpet.
Ask your students to look for as they view the film. It will also suggest a type of follow-up.
I wish I was as high as this kid.
Going to be needed.
You will develop your own skill in evaluating films by learning to recognize some of the film techniques we have demonstrated here.
Like turning the camera on.
The documentary technique, the dramatic technique,
the rom-com technique,
step-by-step close-up technique, the unusual effects technique, and the open-end technique. Now,
yeah, is he going to backhand me?
Essential purpose. But remember, too, that any one of them may serve a secondary purpose.
But there is a two-purpose maximum. If you discover a third purpose, there will be blood to pay.
Proper use of film heightens the importance of the teacher and makes his contribution all the more necessary.
His contribution. All teachers are famously male.
The quality of the film experience ahead for your students should be predictable.
Well, it's boring. That's almost the same thing.
If you develop your skill in both choosing and using the classroom film.
Oh, is this one of those endings where it's the very film we've been watching? Nice of the projector to show us a The End card. Yeah, you sold me. I'm going to rush out and collect these all. Okay, I read the titles. Fade out already. Paramount. For months we filled our streaming service with ads for a Grease prequel only to erase it from existence. What is wrong with us?
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Whenever these Metropolis crowds are just staring up in the sky, that's when the pickpockets come out to play. Oh, this year Oogie Boogie Bash is giving a Halloween overlay to Midway Mania. Jim Davis? So we're gonna get a Superman who hates Mondays? The amazing storyboarding duo of Morton and Gordon. Yeah, enjoy seeing Dave Fleischer's name while it lasts.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive.
Yeah, but more powerful than a 260 is a low bar, according to the train expert I know. Thanks, Ashley. Borrowing Doctor Strange's portal to make his appearance.
Superman! Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a
never-ending battle.
Mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Really? You should know all of this by now. Ah, we're starting off this short in the depths of hell. So is Superman going to save the boys from Pleasure Island, or what?
All right, folks, only a time. 1/10 of a dollar.
The Sailor Man business has been slow, so Popeye has to take a side gig as a carnival barker.
The world is ever saved.
Monkey Bone?
Sorry, old fellow.
Fine thing. Ace newspaper woman scares monkey.
Ace newspaper woman reviews circus.
I don't need to take this. I'm the goddamn marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Too bad, Lois. Looks like a great night for a murder or fire.
Don't tempt me, Clark.
Hurry, hurry.
Step right up for the murder fire.
That's your cue, Lois.
The show's about to start. Only a few minutes before the performance begins. Oh, hurry, hurry, hurry.
Todd Browning is filming in the next tent over. Help! I can't get out of the stupid costume! This monkey does all the fake studio audience applause for Bill Maher. Why are the circus staff dressed like Nazis? For its own safety, keep this monkey away from bad dates. It's a long pull string. Must be an extra chatty Cathy. Actual footage of Smeagol finding the ring. I don't like this version of Mystic Manor. Behold, the conga line of depressed elephants. What is it, boy? Timmy stuck in the well? Oh, I am baked out of my gourd right now. Russell from Up, Little Lulu, and Vault Boy. Haha, cruelty to animals is hilarious. So everything's just happening at once? Pretty unfocused show. P.T. Barnum, I've come to bargain. Gorilla Man, the animated series. And Dick Grayson's parents die in the chaos.
Oh, I gotta get closer to this action.
Why are her eyes scarier than the gorilla? It's Gorillaverse Travels. Quick, we still gotta mock the big-eared kid. Whoa, they leaked Gigantic? I thought Disney scrapped that before production. Come on down to the Primate Chiropractor. Trust us, it feels better than it looks. It's high time you learn to tie your own shoes, young man. Nice, you picked up the spare. It actually is raining men. I want animal crackers! Soundtrack performed by rubbing a trombone on a cello. Clark, it's like 10 p.m. Shouldn't you have headed home? Off-camera police cars. Time to solve the mystery of the dwindling animation budget.
Get going, Joe. Let's see what's cooking.
Quick, let's go back to the place I just came from. Yeah, we're in danger, but this is gonna be dynamite for my Instagram engagement.
I knew I should have turned left at Albuquerque. Oh my god, the gorilla's wearing that weird duck costume.
Faster than a speeding gorilla. And safe. Shouldn't this little girl be in the hospital with Curious George?
I'm warning you, I'll protect this wall with my life.
Oh, we're saved. It's the same cop 8 times. I could have flown here, but taking the cab allowed time for some real chaos. Run! It was a mistake to hit the big boss for a raise! Ooh, he's flying the elephant like a kite.
I want to turn. Me.
So these shorts went from inspiring Godzilla to cribbing from King Kong. Let's hope we get a Mothra connection soon. Yeah, it's not like you could have used your super strength there. Okay, now who's shooting? What's going on here?
This is a job for Superman.
You are the round egg! Oh, the Panthers restore the Snyderverse guy upset at the new casting. Now you go in there and think about what you've done, young man. Okay, pick a size and stick with it, gorilla. No trademark infringement here. Super Dan, you'll in the lion's den. Yeah, Soups, just toss that elephant anywhere, it's cool. Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? And the lion gets away and starts a new life in Belize with that vulture from the first cartoon. And now Superman and the gorilla will make sweet, sweet love. This is the danger of leaving Christmas lights up. Oh yeah, still think it's gonna be a great night for a fire, Clark? That rope went up in flames faster than the Flash's box office. That's Metropolis's ass. Really lingering, huh? Well, we're back in the depths of hell. That didn't take long. Dan Hedaya? Go back to drawing him with closed eyes, please! And the punch shrank the gorilla down to the size of Tor Johnson.
I knew that class on fishing for gorillas would come in handy.
If a tree falls in a circus and a gorilla's around to hear it... Okay, don't look, Lois. I gotta piss this fire out.
Lucky Lois.
Logan Lucky Lois.
Gets her story.
And luckily, she lives to write it.
Thanks to Superman.
Shut up and stop wasting film, Clark.
Superman will return, even though the Fleischers won't. I don't recall being assigned my own Chevrolet dealer, but I doubt they're going to be much help with my Toyota Prius. Well, if it's my Chevrolet dealer, I'm guessing this film isn't a guide to the wonders of public transit. Gale Storm? So it's just going to be a tour of Autopia's special woman driving space? It was the best ride she'd ever had.
Know where the Liebenau family of Hollywood is going?
To get their names changed to the Gale Storm family since she gets top billing.
An institution of going new places and doing new things.
Or just hitting up Vegas for an 8th time.
Vacation baggage is all packed and the family car is in tip-top shape.
If you like crap.
Ready to go places. The Bonnells consider themselves experts on how to go places in the family car.
Put them in a different vehicle and they're clueless.
Being an expert is knowing how to get ready to go. Last vacation, this expert left the lawn sprinklers running.
Well, yeah, it's not like the grass came with them.
This expert forgot to leave a note for the milkman.
Milkman, the man with the powers of milk. Where's those Fleischer cartoons?
A checklist. The checklist makes it easy to know what to take. Of course, it also makes it easy to know what not to take.
Save this for a bicycle safety short.
With the family baggage all together, on display, anyone can do a good job of packing.
The emotional baggage will seep up around the 15th hour stuck in the car with the family.
When the things you'll want first are the last to be packed, they'll be easier to find.
Matthew 20:16.
And here's a tip. One bag holding toilet articles, pajamas, and a change of light clothing for the entire family can save a lot of unpacking and repacking.
With these 3 easy steps, you too can sing Zippity-Doo-Dah out of your asshole.
Your space is clear and unobstructed. But even so, blocking that door on the traffic side is a good safety precaution if you're traveling with children. There's a small cushion or two for sleepyheads, and to help stretch distances between stops, a jug of water, some cookies, and dried fruit for between meal snacks without mess and bother.
And a George Foreman grill for paninis on the road. And don't forget the espresso maker.
Last item on the Bonnell's checklist, and a good idea for everyone, a spare key for the car safely tucked away in a magnetic container for emergencies.
I'm sure Lee and Gail love that you've told everyone how to break into their car now.
Getting ready to go, a real expert seems to think of everything.
Philip, are you sure you snapped the lock on the front door when you closed it?
Yes, sir, Dad. It's locked.
Uh-oh, I just remembered something. My purse.
Where is it?
It's on the dining room table.
Okay, give me the keys. I'll go get it.
Oh, you poor dumb fool.
I hate to tell you this, but that's where all the house keys are. In my purse.
Oh, Susanna. Fortunately, she has a plush taco from Squishable.
The open road at last.
Do you need a break from modern living?
3 small boys with hidden talent for burglary.
Next stop, the Lonely Mountain, where the boys will retrieve the Arkenstone.
And who cares about schedules when they're vacation bound?
Dad, can I have a real gun?
Not until you're 12, son.
Does. But stepping on it is not the expert way to make up for lost time.
The hell it isn't. Floor this baby. Hit the nitrous.
Fewer the miles on a tank full of gas. Much of the time he thinks he is saving by extra speed may actually be spent in extra refueling stops. Speed is expensive.
But heroin's on a discount.
Car, driving costs increase rapidly as driving speeds go up. So take it easy, Pop.
Go stand on the corner in Winslow, Arizona.
You'll get there more economically, more safely, and probably just as soon if you drive at an efficient rate.
A smooth 3 miles an hour will have you there in no time.
Reasonable speed will let you cover more miles in a day, relaxed and comfortable.
It's most efficient to drive in a bathrobe drinking a glass of Chardonnay.
Time by watching for ways to avoid business traffic in cities and towns.
And now, Andy Rooney.
Plan their trips to avoid rush hour traffic at morning, noon, and evening in large cities on their route.
But they're from Hollywood, so the only time to avoid rush hour is 2:43 a.m.
Time saver that works 2 ways. Whenever possible, combine all your requirements for service, such as gasoline, regular checks of oil, tires, and cooling system, in a single stop.
But it's not a food stop.
And you have plenty of time to get refreshment, exercise, and local information on highway conditions.
Yeah, so it turns out the highway's being swarmed by giant lizards. You might want to take Coanga. Howdy, folks. Can I interest you in some boysenberries?
Knowing how to get where you are going is one of the most important ways of saving time. But remember, it's so easy to get poor advice from people you just happen to meet along the road. Yep, down that way.
They brought in the ADR team from Manos.
He thinks so. Hey, wait, t'other way.
I want it t'other way.
Oh, well.
At least it's not like any horror movies begin this way.
Confused.
I'm hungry. I'm thirsty.
And I'm Javert.
And I'm positive that old coot told us this was the shortcut to the main highway.
I trust that poorly dubbed man with my life.
I'll get out and see what it says.
It says you should have bought a squirrel.
No matter where you think you are, you are lost.
Well, time to get ready for 6 seasons of mystery boxes.
With a good map, highway navigation can be very simple. Next time you travel, try marking the route with 2 pencil lines enclosing the highway. The arrows call attention to important information.
Of course, the library you borrowed this map from won't be thrilled.
Travelers use the map to make an ingenious guide list of route numbers and key mileages.
Key Mileage, starring Humphrey Bogart and Edward G. Robinson.
Sections, each covering a map or a section of a map.
Boy, before GPS was invented, I would have been dead in a ditch on my way to Baskin Robbins.
The steering wheel, you can check off the route changes as you make them. Then you'll always know where you are and what to look for to keep you on the road.
Well, if they had helpful signs the whole time, it wouldn't matter.
A knowledge of direction often helps you get where you are going. Did you know that you can use your watch as a compass if the sun is shining?
I can barely use my watch to tell time.
Point the hour hand directly at the sun. Midway between the hour hand and 12 o'clock is approximately south. That's all there is to it.
Oh, that's all. Just some casual road geometry.
However, you'll find it pays to have a compass if you do a great deal of traveling in open country.
It's not one of those ones that doesn't point north, is it? I refuse to go on another pirate adventure.
When you're going places, knowing how to get ready to go and how to get where you're going are important. But knowing how to relax and have fun while you're going is most important of all.
Just take a nap while you drive.
A good driver becomes steadily more alert and more efficient during the first 3 or 4 hours behind the wheel. After 4 hours of driving, his efficiency usually begins to drop unless he knows how to relax.
Unlike retail workers who thrive on working without breaks for 8 hours at a time. Trust us, your employees love it.
Hands in what the experts call the 10-20 position.
Back then, the 10 and 2 theorists were laughed out of academia, but who's laughing now?
Arrive feeling more refreshed with your back straight and your head up than if you slouch behind the wheel.
Now I gotta watch a posture film too?
Change in the position of the driver's seat also helps you stay comfortable and alert.
Definitely fiddle with that constantly while driving. It's safe. Is Lee being weekend at Bernied?
Cross-country travel can be a rewarding experience for the whole family. But there are times when young passengers need something besides scenery to keep them happy and occupied.
So drug them.
Here is a game that's fun for all. How far is it to that mountain ahead?
Fun for all.
The family guesses, and the closest guess scores a point.
And lords it over his brothers.
Familiar parlor games become more enjoyable because they're played in a parlor on wheels.
Best apartment I can afford.
And guessing games and license plate games.
Yes, the license plate game is no longer relegated to the parlor. You can actually play it in cars now.
On any cross-country vacation trip, the real expert is the one who takes the time to discover America.
Or just take credit for it like that Columbus hack. Meanwhile, in Treasure of the Sierra Madre.
East or west, north or south. The awe-inspiring wonders of the Grand Canyon of the Colorado.
Yeah, until Charlie Day tries to kill you.
The spectacular beauty of Zion National Monument.
Less mechanical than it looked in those Matrix films.
Mighty Niagara.
Slowly I turned.
The sparkling waters of the Atlantic.
Isn't that the bridge from the Truman Show?
The historic Southland.
We are completely lost.
All these and 1,000 more within your easy reach.
Tributes to white supremacy everywhere.
So wonderful. And aren't vacationers wonderful too?
We're the boys. We've come hundreds of miles to see all of this. Why aren't they out here to enjoy it?
Oh, they're back in the car planning next summer's vacation. They're reading a book.
Reading a book?
They should be playing their Game Boy.
The title is How to Go to the Moon.
But there's no footage of me on that Tomorrowland attraction, so who cares?
Chevrolet reminds you to just get in the car and keep driving. Go on, drive like you've never driven before and don't look back. We'll radio you when the coast is clear. Oh, Jam Handy, where would the art of riffing be without you? Paramount. The Barbie movie didn't license that many clips from us, but still more than you expected.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Famous Studios. It's always been famous. I've never heard of Max and Dave. A showdown? Going downtown? You're gonna mess around? And yes, we're skipping the first Famous Studios short because even the title is too racist for me. There's gonna be a couple from the famous era we'll skip for racism reasons.
Faster than a streak of lightning. more powerful than the pounding surf.
Guess the Fleischers got the speeding bullet and locomotive in the divorce.
This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman.
We can reuse still images from the previous era, that's all right.
Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
A man with a sailboat in his jacket pocket. I'm sorry, we don't have a pulse. Yes, this is definitely the real Superman, knocking a guy slightly unconscious instead of just ripping the safe apart with his bare hands. There's a run on this bank because Dick Van Dyke took a kid's tuppence. Before Jimmy got into sandwiches, he and his bro had a different dream. Meanwhile, at Edward G. Robinson's private putt-putt course...
Hello, stupid.
Hey, well, hello, stupid to you, too.
Come on, hand it over.
It was Alfred E. Newman the whole time? Oh, from me, I didn't know you felt that way.
This is a swell racket, boss. And the Superman outfit, it works like a charm.
You've been moonlighting at Jumbo's Clown Room again.
Gee, boss, it was only a fin.
Next time, it'll be a Mickey fin.
That's right, I'm gonna have you steal Disney dollars. So nobody noticed that it wasn't Superman's face. Why is Clark even bothering with the glasses? Superman against his fiercest enemy, Joe Friday. Oh, actually, that article's just about how Shelley refused to go to Stacy's birthday party. She said she was going to be out of town, but then they all saw her at the skating rink hanging out with Susie instead.
Hey, you two. The editor wants you to cover the opera tonight.
Where the hell did you come from?
And don't forget, it's formal.
Jimmy Olsen is really turned on by the idea of other people wearing fancy clothes at an event he won't attend. Bertie Wooster and Tuppy Glossop are asleep in the next box over. A Night at the Opera is less zany than I remember. An entire theater audience made up of Statlers and Waldorfs. Oh no, John Wilkes Booth!
Here's Johnny.
Young Queen Elizabeth? Well, she can't feel when she's using her opera glasses, everyone knows that. Don't mind me, just checking your heartbeat. I just remembered I hate this opera.
It is Superman.
Only he wears clothes this flimsy.
So Lois, the person who knows Superman's physique better than anybody, is fooled by this lanky dork.
My double's in for some trouble.
Or whatever Team Rocket says. Okay, but they think it is Superman, so they're covering the ground to trap the guy who can fly away? Ooh, they're gonna do the duck soup mirror gag. Does this guy really not know bullets don't work on Superman? I don't think he put a lot of research into this role. Not exactly a method actor.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Superman. You got me all wrong. It ain't me. Honest, it ain't me.
I ain't no senator's son.
Oh, take it easy, will you, Mr. Superman? Give me a chance. I'll come clean. I'll talk. Honest, I'll talk. Oh, don't touch me.
Look up in the sky.
Neither of those are birds, Debbie.
I knew there was more to this story.
Not much more for me to do in this story, but hey.
Come on, men, let's drive in a random direction. He loves me not. All right, kid, this is your house. I'm gonna have a word with your mother.
Well, did you enjoy the opera?
Well, I fell asleep, but, grrr.
What's the matter, stupid? Did you lose your tongue?
And gain about 3 feet of height?
Don't stand there like a dummy. Give me the jewels. Or Are you trying to double-cross me? Why, you...
Hey, boss, that's Mr. Superman.
Sorry I didn't mention earlier that I was bringing company.
I didn't expect to see you here.
Ah, take that. You're susceptible to gravity, right? Oh, right, I forgot. In these cartoons, he can only fly when the animators feel like it. The desk is rattling around like a TV drawn by Bill Watterson.
Oh, I don't care about me, but if this lamp gets hurt, I'll never forgive myself.
Hey, sorry I killed your Rancor. Whoa, electroshock! Give me more, I'm into it. Meanwhile, in a cartoon based on Cask of Amontillado... Hey, is Snow White's stepmother around? Superman, possessing remarkably inconsistent strength.
Come on, hurry up.
Let me in, ...
All right, now I, for one, have been craving In-N-Out, but if the drive-thru line's too long, I'm parking and sending you in for it. And they run Doctor Strange off the road. Ah, didn't turn off their blowtorch? Such a waste of power. Their hideout is a sensible suburban split level. And Cary Grant crashes into them after being drugged by James Mason. Everyone knows cars are lighter than doors.
Next time you'll play Superman.
I want to be Goku next time.
Boy, have I got a story. What's the matter, Bright Eyes? The opera get you down?
Just been dreaming I was Superman.
Dreaming about being Superman might be even more pathetic when you actually are.
Well, I can dream, can't I?
Hat boner. Superman will return in something that allows me to reference a third Marx Brothers movie. An E.B. White film. Hopefully it's a more faithful adaptation than Stuart Little. I believe the term is writing books. In collaboration with Martin Luther and Robert Evans. Ready, you gotta read all 95 of these theses.
This man is an author.
This Barbie is J.D. Salinger.
He has just finished writing a story. He thinks many people will like to read it.
The naive fool.
So he must have the story made into a book.
He simply must.
Let's see how the book is made.
First he clicks Export to Kindle.
The story goes to the printing shop. This workman is a typesetter.
He's just one of an infinite number of monkeys.
Preparing the story so it can be printed. He types the story on this machine, letter by letter.
And the machine keeps thinking he meant to write ducking.
Every time the typesetter touches a key, a mold for a letter slides into this box.
Moldy letters. We gotta get this place treated.
Many molds together make a line.
No, a line segment.
Every time the lever goes up,
an angel gets its wings.
Pours over the letter molds inside the machine.
Why don't we see all this in Stephen J. Cannell's logo?
When the metal cools off, it hardens and makes a line of words.
Careful, you're going to make Eliza Doolittle sick.
It takes many lines like this to make a page.
Which is why I always double space at Arial size 14. So far, my teacher hasn't dinged me for it.
As the typesetter works on new lines, a man takes the finished lines over to a long table.
We're knights of the long table. Our lines are formidable.
Here, he arranges the lines for each page.
Now, these don't have to go in any specific order, do they?
This page is to have a picture.
Oh, they're doing the novelization of Birds of Prey. Damn it, E.B.
The picture takes up the space of many lines.
Well, sure, the exchange rate of words to pictures is like 1,000.
The composer then goes to the next page.
Wondering how his degree in music theory led him here.
The composer marks the end of each page. When many pages like this are ready, a workman takes them to another part of the printing shop.
The incinerator.
Then this workman takes the lines of type for many pages and
Theodore Roosevelt?
metal frame. He must be careful not to mix them up.
If they go in the wrong order, the book will be incoherent nonsense, and we'll have to credit it to Glenn Beck.
Long and short pieces of metal keep the pages apart.
But medium pieces of metal have no worthwhile function.
This key locks the lines and pictures tightly in the frame.
So Madame Leota will send you to a crypt to get it because Goofy lost it before the parade.
All sides. Then he evens all the lines so that none of them will stick up.
This job used to be done by Pete Best.
Then all is locked still tighter so that the lines and pages won't come apart.
Then they squeeze it just a little more just for fun. The pages like it that way.
But the words and lines of type are of soft metal.
Mithril.
They would soon wear out in printing. In this shop, they are made into copper. Copper is hard.
Dyeing is easy.
Let's watch how this is done. This operator covers the lines and pages with a plate of wax. Then he pushes it into the press.
While pushing himself into depression.
Down goes the press. And out comes the wax plate, with all the pictures and letters pressed into the soft wax.
How many times a day did these employees silently curse the name of Johann Gutenberg? Been holding on that for a while. Are we supposed to read it all?
Next, another worker dips the wax plate into a large tank which has copper in it.
Copper tank is my favorite sunblock.
Goes into all the places where the letters have pressed into the wax. It forms a solid plate.
Not exceptional, just
it has
solid.
The same letters and same pictures as before, but it is much stronger.
We can rebuild it. We have the technology.
Many books can be printed from copper plates.
But some only from iron bowls.
Now the plates are cut apart. This sharp saw easily cuts through the hard copper.
And the employee's thumb.
Each of these small plates has the words and pictures for just one page of the book.
But it's a page of Atlas Shrugged, so hopefully it'll get broken before it can go to press.
Next, the plates go over to the printing press. Here, this workman makes the plates ready for printing on this press. That is why they call him the Ready Man.
Well, he's trying to get everyone to call him that anyway.
The space where you see him now is called the press bed.
Looks more comfortable than any bed at a Travelodge.
64 pages fit on one bed.
One fell off and bumped his head.
The Ready Man fits every plate tightly to the bed, in the right order.
Wait, you wanted this in the right order? I thought this book was on shuffle.
There are 2 beds on this press, one for each side of the paper.
They're really trying to both sides this paper.
Both press beds of this printing press must be filled with plates before the printing can begin. Now, one push of a button and the big press starts.
Wait, no, it's going to overheat the machine that keeps the Metropolis T-Rex frozen.
Rollers spread the ink evenly over the plates. First, one side of the paper is pressed to one set of plates, then the other side of the paper to the other set.
Did you need that part explained?
Sheet after sheet. The printed pages begin to pile up at one end of the press.
And we keep saying we'll get to the pile-up, but you know, weeks go by, suddenly we're out of clean sheets.
This workman now examines the sheets to see if they are nicely and clearly printed.
He's got to speed read the entire thing in about 3 seconds. Good luck.
Crap. How do I fold one of these again?
Now let's see what happens to these sheets after they're printed.
Oh, may we?
Here in the bookbinding plant, they first come to the folding machine. Each large printed sheet will be folded until it reaches the size of a single page.
And we want all the pages in this book to be the same size?
And the machine goes on, folding and folding.
Contemplating the futility of life.
Have been folded.
You can't hear it because this was shot MOS, but while the machines work, they're actually dropping some sick beats.
This man checks the folders to make sure that the pages follow each other in the right order.
Let's see. 1, 3, 5. Screw it, that's enough for me.
Then all the folders are taken to another part of the bindery. This part is called the gathering room.
It's where we hold parties.
These girls stack the folders in piles and put each pile into its proper bin.
Piles is women's business, everyone knows that.
They see to it that there are always folders in every bin.
This thing can kick 10 the cheats every second.
The folders in the right order from the first page to the last page of the book.
It can also flip enough pancakes to feed a megachurch.
One by one, the machine gathers all the folders for one book. At the end of this long machine, the folders are coming out. All the pages for the book.
All this effort for a Minuet Cheesecake Factory.
Here, other girls take the assembled folders to other machines.
Ah, the mythical other girls that every main character is not like.
Here, a machine sews them together.
That's a human, not a machine.
Again, each folder goes into the machine separately. This machine sews the folders together with strong thread. The sewing will keep the pages from coming apart.
Emotionally, the thread is a licensed therapist.
After the books have been sewed, they go on to the trimming shop,
where superfluous subplots go to the cutting room floor.
This machine trims the pages to just the right size with 3 sharp knives.
3 sharp knives. See how they cut.
Of the book. Then with 2 knives for the 2 short sides.
Man, Rubik's Cubes used to be dangerous. Now the pages ride a train.
But the books are not yet finished. They still need covers.
Like Johnny Cash doing Hurt.
Book covers are made from paperboard. First, the paperboard is cut just the right size.
They're all personally assessed by Goldilocks. I can't wait to see Cillian Murphy in Nolan's biopic of this guy.
Next, cloth from this roll is glued over the paperboard. This makes covers that are strong and good-looking.
What about covers that are frail and dorky? I need my representation.
At last, the name of the book is stamped on the cover in shining gold letters.
And Ready Player 3 is off to stores. Community Theater Stanley Kowalski is on the scene.
To be put inside them.
All right, I'm off to get my t-shirt tightened.
One push, and the book has a cover around it.
One push makes you print.
The cover is glued tight.
And all of these books will be systematically destroyed by Mr. Bean.
Here they go, all finished and ready for shipping to all parts of the world. The story has been made into a book for readers everywhere.
But the author has already spent his entire advance and it never went to second printing, so he's still working the graveyard shift at Del Taco. Good night, everyone. Paramount, we're bringing back Good Burger and Frasier, and we're gonna make them fight to the death.
Up in the sky, look!
Wow, just spitting in the face of Adam McKay.
It's Superman!
A famous studio, but we won't tell you which one, but trust us, it's famous. Ugh, I'm tired of all this big corporate destruction. Support your local destruction LLC. Morton, this one might be too salty.
Faster than a streak of lightning.
Zeus versus Superman.
More powerful than the pounding surf.
Part of your world.
Mightier than a roaring hurricane.
Weird, because Superman's the hero who isn't in a Florida theme park.
Amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel. Superman!
Merry Christmas! Wait.
Remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter.
Fighting for truth while lying about his identity. The flute really sells it. Damn it, the mystery machine's out of gas again. Okay, but if you look the other way, you'll see everyone dining at the Blue Bayou. Oh my god, someone killed Jim Henson and stole Kermit off his hand! And
That'll teach you for overselling how many songs there are about rainbows.
Flash!
Ah, savior of the universe!
Baffling crimes. The body of an elderly man has just been found in the marsh flats outside the city. He has been identified as the watchman at the Metropolis Munitions Plant.
Flash and Watchman? Too many DC characters. The love child of Howdy Doody and Lampwick.
News later.
Sounds like there might be a story at the plant, Lois.
Lois? Me name is Lois, not Lois. Gee whiz, everybody interpolates me name wrong.
Who's everybody? I think you wandered into the wrong cartoon, pal.
I-S. Lois. Louise. Lucy. Now I'm so mixed up, I don't know who I am.
Well, neither do we. No, these shorts are going to be repackaged as House of Munitions. Superman couldn't come here because he's Kal-El, not personnel.
Okay, Watchman. Take your post in the main shop and be on the alert. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Even Superman's getting Stan Lee cameos?
Oh, pardon me.
Colonel Sanders, patrolman. Welcome to the industry montage. Please enjoy pulse-pounding music and silhouettes of workers doing things. All of this to make one M&M. Here at the Department of Polishing Phallic Objects, we don't worry we might be repressing anything. It's very important that the rockets are shined before we launch them. Okay, do all these Superman cartoons from here on have Edward G. Robinson?
Report upstairs, 12 o'clock. Very important.
My mouth moves weird. It's very important. Lois the Riveter.
I wonder what the big shot was.
This does not seem like the best angle for a security camera. Well, I guess I live here now. Might as well get comfortable. Raymond Burr?
That was a good job you did on the Watchman last night.
Man, Ghost at a Watchman is a real departure from To Kill a Mockingbird.
The shops.
It's wired to the switch on the plant floor below.
God, these animators love their shadows more than Peter Pan.
The whole place.
Oh no, my very easily blown cover was blown!
Get that girl.
Why did we even hire her to be our only non-mobster employee? Chase downstairs, up ladders. I feel like I'm playing Donkey Kong here. Acrobat Lois is back, baby. Oh boy, I've always wanted a reason to climb this ladder. Damn it, are we back at the circus? And Bruce Wayne gets an idea for a secret passage on Earth 66. Early movie audiences thought this guy would really run them over. This guy too. Looks like I'm gonna have to jump. Damn it, I swear I was safe. Where's the umpire? Oh, they're gonna send her to the Genesis planet. Commissioner Gordon, this is way out of Gotham's jurisdiction.
Now load in the dynamite.
A second non-mobster employee? Okay, fair, that's on us now. I can't take this kind of pressure. No, they killed Mr. McFeely. Never thought of stuffing TNT into a condom. There, the problem went away.
Jones speaking.
Indy went down a dark road, I tell ya.
Send out the torpedo immediately. Immediately.
Wah, 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 wacky torpedo music! How long are they gonna need that sign to be there?
Here comes the torpedo now.
Thanks, American Jim Broadbent.
Hulk out there is the target.
This is an extreme game of Battleship.
For experimental purposes, there is no explosive in the torpedo.
No, I'm sure that guy's really dead. The metal beams just have an itch. Ah, the final shot of North by Northwest. Well, I'm not sure who this looks like a job for, but I'm here anyway.
Okay, stand by. Ready?
Fire!
It's okay. It happens to a lot of torpedoes. This is the part where we blow up! Not today! And he drops it, killing Lois and the spectators. Damn it, I knew I should have kept the blinds closed.
Miss Lane, are you all right?
Also, are we on a first-name basis yet?
They're about to blow up the plant.
Hurry, throw that switch.
Docs can't go to sleep without their nightlights. Whee! Ah, yes, now we watch them dance. Wow, fake Raymond Burr ran far. Explosives? This changes everything. This plan seems good. Yeah, back when cable channels could afford to advertise on trucks.
Superman!
That's your name. It was right off the tip of my tongue. Strike! You will conquer your fear of the dark and like it. Couldn't you just pick the truck up? I mean, it's better than moving the train track that was leading up to it, I guess. Some days you just can't get rid of a dynamite. Wow, whoever was driving that truck should be arrested. Anyway, I gotta put on 2 layers of clothes real quick. This is what the overflow queue for web slingers feels like.
Well, Pop, Superman put an end to their little act, and this puts an end to yours, Clark Kent.
I knew it was you right away. I can see through any disguise. By the way, have you seen Superman anywhere?
Superman will return in Destruction University. Jingle all the way. Ooh, which one? Tennant? Whitaker? McCoy? Peter Cushing? We can't afford to wait for Irving Russa later. We need Irving Russa now. Music by Gene For Real, Connor's less successful cousin. Before being king of the lemurs, Julian made educational films.
In almost any big city, the centers of medicine and surgery are big too.
Okay, what's this city compensating for?
The hospitals, designed to serve thousands at a time, are equipped with the most modern devices and staffed by specialists and expert technicians.
All to get the billing done.
But what of the small towns?
Yes, this small town, which looks exactly as developed as the big city.
No imposing hospitals. No large labs for research.
Modern Beauty Salon is not a great name for a business.
In small towns, doctors like this one must serve all the health needs of the community.
So just no lights in the waiting room, huh?
The man who cares for these people can't specialize in one type of disease.
He's lucky to recognize half a disease.
The rest of the long catalog of sicknesses to other physicians. In a way, though, the small-town doctor is a specialist, too. A specialist in humanity.
Because big city slickers are famously not humans.
To doctors like Dr. John Wade of
They call me Dr. Wade. I'm not a real doctor, but I am a real Wade.
One of the rewards of his calling to watch some of the personalities develop from babyhood.
That's an old baby.
Some of his patients, in turn, have watched him grow and develop.
From behind the bushes.
Young and old, the people in this community are his friends, as he is theirs.
So this is what Katzenberg did before he met Eisner. That calendar hasn't been changed since 1899.
The patients in Dr. Wade's office any morning are a town in miniature.
Like Legoland.
Services and his skill are at the disposal of rich and poor alike.
What is this town in Ohio that had Medicare for all in the 50s? And every day somebody injures themselves tripping on those stairs to the doctor's office.
Mid-morning finds the doctor at one of the town schools. Today is inoculation day for the children of the first grade.
Oh, remember when parents let their kids get vaccinated?
Wiped out smallpox in this area. Inoculations against diphtheria have sharply decreased the dangers of epidemics which once carried off thousands of children every year in this region.
I'm allergic to that. Unimpressed children are most susceptible to disease.
The hypodermic needle means safety for these little boys and girls, and they can believe the doctor when he says it doesn't hurt a bit.
Yeah, the kids definitely believe that.
Dr. Wade's name may never appear in medical journals. He and others like him make their contribution to preventive medicine day after day. They are the link between the research laboratory and the people.
Because the research laboratory and the people are not on speaking terms. What's with the Handmaid's Tale extras?
Progress in his profession and passes his knowledge on to others. Once a week, his crowded schedule crams in a visit to the hospital in a nearby city for consultation.
Because the small town has just one doctor, but the city has none?
Is explaining the use of penicillin, a drug which prevents or halts infection in a matter of hours.
And that wraps up his meeting with the Society of Mary Wicks Impersonators. So the doctor sprayed penicillin on the children through the sprinkler.
The doctor's 3 children and their friends greet his return in the early afternoon as a big event.
Crap, Dad's home. Hide the contraband. One day I'll learn which 3 of these kids are mine.
Lunchtime gives the doctor a short rest and a chance to talk over the morning's happenings with his wife.
Oh yeah, back when healthcare workers got lunch breaks. Well, the wife knows more about making a sandwich than the characters in Let's Make a Sandwich.
Mrs. Wade, a former graduate nurse, is a great help to her husband.
The office is understaffed with nurses, but it's much more important that she cook his lunch.
And can give instructions on what to do until he arrives. Today, Mrs. Wade knows the doctor can finish his lunch before answering the latest call.
Inhale that food and start running.
The doctor takes his own advice about eating
voyeur cam.
After meals.
Sorry I'm late for the open heart surgery. My wife reminded me to eat slowly.
After his brief luncheon recess, Dr. Wade answers a call from a Bennett farm, a few miles out of town.
House calls in this economy? It's important we watch every step he takes so we really understand.
Mrs. Bennett thought her husband had had a heart attack. And
the Bennetts will both feel better once their daughters are married off to Mr. Bingley and Mr. Darcy.
She kept him absolutely still, as Mrs. Wade advised, until the doctor came to examine him. Tom Bennett has been doing the work of 3 men lately.
Oh, he was taking care of that baby we saw earlier.
In the Midwestern summer heat, it's no wonder even a strong young man like Tom suddenly found the work too heavy.
A doctor and something being heavy. Wish I could think of a joke for that. Yeah, a thermometer will tell you if you've had a heart attack. No sound is coming out of Dr. Wade's mouth, so Tom has no idea what's happening.
On the farm until Tom gets better.
I don't know how to say this, Tom, but you're pregnant.
A good rest, and Tom will be up and about again in no time.
How can he hear anything through the stethoscope if he's talking at the same time?
Don't worry about. It's just overexertion.
And no doctor has ever been wrong about that. The doctor's next call brought him to Imperceptible Contrast Avenue.
After the visits to new patients, there are follow-up calls to be made.
At the Haunted Mansion.
Mary Sawyer is the first case on the checkup list today.
We think she's been reading at the library, Doctor.
She still hasn't gotten over a long bout with the flu.
Here, let me crack open a glow stick.
Please tell me he washed that.
The new sulfa drugs brought her fever down, but they left her weak and listless.
I wouldn't know what it's like to be listless, because I can always list things while my name begins with a D.
Parents are afraid she's getting worse.
Okay, is every man in this town Slugworth? Okay, now where's the headphone jack?
I don't remember The Exorcist being this slow.
Without their knowing it, Dr. Wade treats Mary's parents almost like patients themselves.
I mean, he's the only doctor in town, so they are actually his patients, too.
She'll be all right. And the doctor has found that it's a good idea to keep anxious relatives busy with instructions for the care of their patient, so they'll have less time for worry.
Yes, an endless string of tasks to get done certainly reduces stress. The doctor has a black car so that if things don't go well, it can double as a hearse.
Next, the doctor stops in to see the Clark family.
Clark's family? Martha and Jonathan? Wait, no, they don't exist in these riffs. The living with the land boats are always floating by this house. They had a product placement deal with this house, and they get more money the longer we linger on it.
They don't suspect that this is a professional visit to check on Mrs. Clark's heart condition.
Her family has had a history of broken hearts since Grandma Padme.
Except charity. So Dr. Wade lets them think it's just a social call.
He's fooled them into thinking they have a friend, but nobody cares about them non-professionally.
So it goes for the rest of the doctor's long day. Dr. Wade reaches home just in time to play with his daughters a bit before bedtime.
The doctor only has time to read the novelizations of creepy Richard Williams movies.
Sometimes he sees more of other people's children than of his own.
As far as he knows.
He tries always to be there when they say their prayers at night.
After all, the prayer is what they're living on, and they've got to hold on to what they've got. Most children forget to do the dance moves to their bedtime prayers. Good night, Daddy. This 5-minute bedtime visit will surely stave off all the resentment towards you that's been steadily growing inside us. Dr. Nosferatu. Okay, either she's a mime or she just escaped prison.
Usually, his wife has to take care of most of their social obligations.
In fact, his wife should just do all the socialization and he can hole up in his room. Boy, it was really hard to watch movies before projectors were invented. Yeah, this is what porn was like then.
Last year, Dr. Wade managed to get away for a week with his family and some friends. They took movies and never tire of running them.
But their friends sure tire of watching them. Hey, Dad, before you start the movie, I can't open my tin of chewing tobacco. Here, we'll show you my colonoscopy.
This is the hideout where the doctor escapes as often as he can. It has no telephone on doctor's order.
Hey, if you're ever going to be unreachable by phone, could this town get a second doctor? The doctor's favorite pastime is hitting big sticks against bigger sticks. Just out of frame, Frankenstein's monster is tossing a child into the water. Someone was jealous of Superman's ass shot in the circus cartoon.
Perhaps the film technique won't win any prizes.
Oh, you're one to judge.
Revive pleasant memories. And even a reminder of a vacation is relaxing when holidays are rare.
But what about a reminder of the vacation you need from this vacation?
Mrs. Wade feels it's high time the doctor took another day off.
So we can put that overexertion diagnosis to the test.
To get away from home.
Well, now this just turned into how to go places.
Consider this a delightful idea.
You heard it here, kids. Escaping solves all your problems. That driver almost caused him to become a patient himself.
Sometimes ideas don't work as they're intended to. Just when the Bennetts and the Sawyers and the Clarks and all the others can spare Dr. Wade for a day, someone else seems to need him badly.
It's my 180-degree rule, Doc. I think it's broken.
The outing will have to be put off until another day. The surgeon at the hospital where Dr. Wade is a consultant needs immediate help in an emergency operation.
The surgery is an emergency, but they have time to go track down this random town doctor on his day off. And this led to the Hudson Hornets crash. I swear he has different children in every shot.
This isn't the first holiday that's been spoiled. Tough luck for the family, but good luck for the patient on the operating table.
So this is turning into a 90s family film about a dad who works too much. This is an extra depressing episode of MASH. Oh, remember when people in hospitals wore masks? No one but this doctor could assist with this surgery. Just ignore all these nurses.
This is the moment when all the doctor's skill and training are called forth. When one unsure move might mean the patient's death. But the surest of moves can guarantee only another chance at life.
So it's real smart to go with the burned-out guy who's desperate for a vacation to do this surgery.
Once, Long ago, 10 years, 15?
150 this very night.
How did it go? Whatsoever house you shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick to the utmost of your power.
You know, if you feel like it.
When he resolved to live by that code, John Wade became what he is today, Doctor of Medicine, Servant of Humanity.
To serve humanity, it's a cookbook! Dr. Wade was sued for malpractice and lost his license the next month. Paramount, how many screams and paranormal activities would you like to watch this month? Why did they draw it to be day for night?
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Did the music just stutter? Well, I stand with the mummy and refuse to cross the mummy picket line. Ah, my favorite publishing company, Siegel and Schuster. Never noticed, but Timberg sounds like one of those fake American names from that baseball video game. Maybe this is the Mummy Strikes Out. Mummy's playing baseball. Let's Twilight this crap.
Faster than a streak of lightning.
The lightning strikes like the mummy will.
More powerful than the pounding surf.
Yeah, but has Brian Wilson written a song about you?
Mightier than a roaring hurricane.
These trees are going to get replanted in Seuss Landing.
This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman.
His cape stopped moving when the Fleischers left.
Remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter.
A mild-mummied reporter. Yeah. Sorry about that. It was just some leftover fire from the circus cartoon. Our story begins inside a cheesecake factory. Putting the crypt in Kryptonian. This wall promoted Tomb of the Dragon Emperor for years. One of the top men cracked open the crate. Up, Snow White just ate the apple.
Dr. Jordan.
Dr. Jordan Peterson? Oh no, he milked himself to death while eating a truck of meat. Daily Planet, king of the slow news days. Oh no, what will the rest of the Hogan family think?
You deny poisoning Dr. Jordan, yet you admit these fingerprints are yours.
Yes, but...
That's just Lois wearing glasses. How does she not recognize Clark? Oh, sounds like Hogan needs a hero. Clark, it's not the phone, it's the smoke alarm. That fire in the first shot set it off.
This is Dr. Wilson of the Egyptian Museum.
Dr. Wade was busy with a house call.
That may free Miss Hogan.
Yes, Doctor. I've been feeling much better lately, but...
Okay, buddy Ryan.
I'll see you later, Lois. Doctor's orders.
Doctor's ADR.
Doctor, my eye.
Lois, after what you pulled at the volcano, can you blame him for this? After his riddle was solved, the Sphinx retired and works 2 days a week as a museum docent. All right, Moon Knight crossover.
Dr. Jordan was the world's foremost student of hieroglyphics.
Wait, that's just the disguise Clark wore last time.
Backed by him. Even the mummy of King Tush.
King Tush. They didn't want to get sued by King Tut.
I uncovered this ancient Egyptian tablet and find it to be a secret curse of the tomb of King Tush.
Funky Tush.
He who disturbs the eternal sleep of King Tush shall perish. This tablet may well be Miss Hogan's passport to freedom.
Oh, good. Superstition always overturns evidence. Doodaloo, Inspector Lois. Not to be confused with Coma Cat, Metropolis's top pet salon. So this is the part where the gangster dies and our original tour guide comes back?
Over 3,000 years ago, the valley of the Upper Nile was ruled by an old and powerful king.
Don't get me started on the Upper Fraser.
The Lower Nile for many years, and just before the old king died, he called his son to him, a young boy of 12.
Tino Tonatini.
He commanded his giant guards to swear an oath of eternal allegiance to the boy prince.
So no story behind the giant guards, huh?
This world and the next.
Shortly after, the old king died.
And this is how Tanis Tea was discovered.
Now ruled the kingdom of 10 million people.
Including Yul Brynner and Jason Mantzoukas.
Passion for such responsibilities, and being of a sickly nature, soon became ill himself.
He was always sick, but he had to become ill.
Tended more faithfully than this youth.
You can actually watch the budget shrinking the longer we stare at these hieroglyphics.
Their oath of allegiance, each of the royal guards drank poison.
Also, they really like poison.
Continue to protect the spirit of their young king in the Valley of the Dead.
Until Prince Alexander challenged death for the king's soul and brought him back to life. Thrill as we watch someone eavesdrop on an after-hours museum tour.
In catacombs, Dr. Jordan has reconstructed the burial vault exactly as he first discovered it in one of the pyramids.
I hate that this fake museum has better theming than any theme park with Superman.
He finally duplicated an ancient mystic formula.
Baja Blast.
Called the fluid of life.
I wouldn't call fire a fluid, but that's just me.
Just before he was found dead, Dr. Jordan had inoculated each of the mummies of the giant guard.
The short is where the anti-vaxxers get all their science.
To life, but somehow the test failed.
His resurrection test somehow failed?
Dr. Jordan was found here at the feet of King Tush.
King Tush, as in I'm gonna kick your tush.
But what you don't know, Mr. Kent,
is how my glasses stay on my face.
Is that Dr. Jordan violated the ancient warning by attempting to open the coffin of King Tush.
So did you try telling the police and not just a random newspaper reporter? Yeah, who knew pushing random buttons was risky?
A poisonous needle. That's how Dr. Jordan was killed.
Yes, and Miss Hogan is a free woman.
Because now my fingerprints are on the murder weapon. Under Wraps, tonight on Disney Channel. Lois looks like Ponyo. Again, great super hearing, Clark. Oh, that's why the science resurrection didn't work. He forgot the magic laser brooch. Little known fact, being raised from the dead removes your pupils. Oh, come on, who tied me up? Was it you, Steve, you prankster? Oh no, they drew this guard twice! Time to sing Elvis pastiche songs at Donny Osmond. The sarcophagus should have burped like in Beauty and the Beast. No, Clark Kent was never here. You just imagined him. Yeah, being crushed by pillars warrants a wah, 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 wah. Always pick sedate music for your giant mummy attack scene. You know, I'm just gonna say it. I miss that weird Lewis guy. Yeah, it's one of those grill-it-yourself barbecue places. Lois, I warned you this would happen if you pretended to be a marshmallow. Hooray, they're defeated. Wait, how many guards are there? Did Superman just break the building with them? Now they're defeated? Was Lois crushed to death? What's happening?
Jane Hogan set free.
Sorry, the exposition ran long, so we got to stop the episode short.
Yes, lucky for you, I was hurt.
Lois wasn't actually hurt. She just got inspired to cosplay a mummy.
My mummy done told me.
Lois needs typing lessons from Strong Bad. Superman will return, or he would if he had gotten his cup of coffee. Okay, no ghosts, so Ray Parker Jr. will be afraid or he ain't afraid. Damn these double negatives. Oh, we got a nice breeze wafting through the credits. Things that refuse to die generally aren't known for haunting. This is the second piece the singing bus auditioned with. Look, one way or another, this is going to get remade with Owen Wilson. Man, George Bailey's got to put in work on this house. Sarah from The Snob is crying by those trees. Oh, the bat signal's shining through the window. Where's Hitchcock? Still in the bathroom? So when does Herman come out of those stairs? Okay, so that song was just about a breakup, but now we're getting to the haunted house, right?
It's a ghost.
The ghost of a house.
This raises so many questions about house souls.
But it hasn't always been like this.
When it was new, it was the set of the Donna Reed Show.
Happy people lived here.
Like Shirley Temple and Clara Bow.
Of his house. Not a worry in the world. This man's house was his castle.
I guess I gotta admit the castle in Florida is better.
And then the trouble began.
With a capital T and that rhymes with G and that stands for ghosts.
A drawer that wouldn't close. A window that wouldn't open.
It looks open to me.
Greater faults. Things that took
Good thing a Wizard of Oz farmhand was there to fix the door.
The owner could never permanently cure his house of these ailments.
Ailments like all the George Lucas wipes.
More as time went on.
Boingy, boingy, boingy.
Gave up. He realized the trouble was far below the surface. In the foundation, under the house.
Okay, so this is a home repair short.
Today, every man's automobile is his house on wheels.
What?
Giving him a roof over his head.
I mean, yeah, in a very literal sense, but is this really the setup you're going with?
Besides moving him about wherever he wants to go. But there are haunted cars.
This first draft of Christine is terrible.
Haunted houses.
Boy, talk about our house in the middle of our street.
And the house falls to pieces.
So if a car is a house, what does that make a garage?
Must be built to withstand an earthquake every second, or oftener.
Look, I miss the Fleischers on Superman, but I'm not this desperate for their work.
Twisting and turning. If a car does not have a good foundation.
I'm picking up good foundations.
Of ghosts. Body joints loosen up, bringing squeaks and rattles.
So, not
Even
ghosts.
The tires get more wear.
The tires are getting wear and tear because you put a whole house on them.
A car must have a strong foundation.
I mean, foundation is also key with makeup. There were so many places we could go with this.
Few people see the real foundations of their houses, and few owners see the frames of their automobiles.
Man, he is butchering Talking Heads lyrics.
Engineering developments in the modern automobile frame, which aren't apparent when you look at the car.
Because we did a bad job with them.
Automobile frame has to do, and what kind of a frame is required to do the job. This line is the road.
That is not the road. You can't fool me, Wile E. Coyote.
And this is the body.
A dead body?
Now let's look at it from another viewpoint. Looking down on top of the car.
Made it, Ma.
The car is supported at four corners.
Where Rusty Griswold tries to have sex.
We must have a strong, rigid foundation.
That line was written by either Mussolini or E.L. James.
So let's take off the body and build a foundation.
Shouldn't you have built it before putting on the body?
Of steel, which we will call side members.
By the way, I'd like to thank my side members for supporting me on Patreon.
Side members apart and something to hold them together.
The duality of side members.
Two more steel pieces.
What is this, truck amuck?
We call cross members.
Cross members is what I say when I can't remember the word Christian.
Turn those front wheels.
It was bold to have the cue for Haunted Mansion actually lead to World of Motion.
Let's give them all the room they want.
The back wheels would like some room too, but we don't love them as much as the front wheels.
That's better. How about the rear end of the frame?
Hey, ogle on your own time.
One cross member.
Sir, please keep this professional, and you can fantasize about members in rear ends at home.
Support for the gas tank, but we need something stronger than that. Let's put in another one.
Yeah, okay, DJ Khaled.
The frame strong and rigid.
Again, fantasize about strong and rigid members off the clock.
Foundation won't go together in the middle like this. Let's put in another cross member.
What do you mean, let's? I'm not involved in this.
Now we have a frame that you can't pull apart.
Without that beam, a guy could pull it apart with his bare hands.
Pretty good job.
I really am incredible.
Hey there, that won't do.
Well, don't snap at me. You drew it like this. You take the credit, you take the blame.
More steel girders like the letter Y.
As in, why do we care?
Any force applied here will be transferred to the center of the frame.
God, even Bob Gurr's getting bored of this.
We don't want to be compelled to make this center crosspiece too heavy.
Who's this we? You're the one doing this.
Spread the strain. Let's put in these members, like the letter K.
And you're going to need KY for the member and the rear end.
We're going to support the front of the engine here.
With a $3 pledge so we can hear the At Home with the Front of the Engine podcast.
To support the rear of the engine. Now we've designed a skeleton frame.
No ghost, but there's a skeleton.
We'll have to do some figuring. And the first thing we want to know is...
What am I supposed to do with this information?
The most severe strain. Or, as engineers would say, where is the point of maximum stress?
The point of maximum stress is my house, which is haunted.
Supported at each end.
From houses to cars to random steel beams.
Center of this piece of steel.
Be sure to tie it with a knot that disappears for a single frame.
Up and down, and it doesn't break.
This whole short is the stuff Adam McKay tells us in a Celebrity Cutaway.
But suppose we fasten a steel box over half the length of the beam and again apply the weight.
And putting a box on a bench will rid my car of ghosts? This is what happened to Hamsar.
While this end was held rigid by the steel box above it, this point was doing most of the bending. Right here at the edge of the box.
So put another leg there. We've got ghosts to worry about.
As an engineer would say, the stress was localized.
I guess it takes more than cutout animation and a heavy weight to make a Monty Python sketch.
The point of greatest strain is here at the front edge of the steel box or body of the car.
All this to program a putt-putt game.
That point is here. The usual way of building this part of the frame.
They keep to the no-ghost promise by ensuring this animator does not suffer a fatal heart attack.
In this frame, we're going to use 2 steel girders.
And set the whole project severely over budget.
With a heavy steel plate known as a gusset.
A gussie?
This construction gives us rigid strength.
God, Danielle Steele's prose isn't this horny.
Another point of great stress is here.
Did they have to watch this whole tutorial before making each one of the 50 million cars in Achievement USA?
Give us extra strength.
After watching this, I need extra strength Tylenol.
On the frame we have designed, we'll find that there is another point of heavy strain. Here in the hump.
Don't say hump, you dirty old man.
Up to get over the rear axle. So we'll give it a reinforcement too.
Yeah, just reinforce every strained part. This could have been summarized.
Between the front and rear springs. Knee action.
We are the knights who say knee action.
Let's make the front end of the car as rigid as possible.
I wanted a spooky short, not a kinky short.
Use this sturdy girder of steel.
Sturdy girder. Wasn't that what they called Margaret Thatcher?
It's time to add these brackets, called step hangers, which support the running boards. And now look out for the rivets.
Oh, nothing in this short is riveting. Watch out, Rosie's just pelting them randomly.
219 tough steel rivets to hold our frame together.
And no cutting corners. If you only use 218, the left blinker will explode.
They're in place. Now we have a strong, rigid foundation.
You can hear him leering when he says that.
YK frame.
Should be Y2K for how anticlimactic this feels.
Under the hardest usage for tens of thousands of miles. Strong, heavy side members for support. Sturdy cross members for rigidity.
A male narrator talking about rigid members is the most queer rep we got back then.
Heavy reinforcements at points of greatest strain.
And this is how we build the Ectomobile, and that's why there's no ghosts.
And a strong crosspiece to hold the knee action wheels. Such a frame gives rigid support to the whole car.
Unlike the framing device for this short, which is incredibly shaky.
Have a firm foundation. The body and every part of the car ride on a frame that is solid, strong, and safe.
Cars really are perfectly safe. There's no way someone injured in one would take several months to recover.
On good roads or bad roads.
This will all be redundant when Doc Brown gets us a hover conversion.
Your car has a foundation to protect all vital parts from damaging shocks and strains.
This house looks like it's getting a visit from the wet bandits.
Winters may come and go, but such a house on wheels.
Yes, car models will never come and go.
Creaks and rattles of a haunted house.
House MD had more to do with houses. This spooky music gets me hyped to build a car. Even Jam Handy sounds filthy.
Paramount. None of our films grossed $1 billion this year either, but you don't hear us whining about it, Disney.
Famous Studios, you'll always be famous, because it's literally your name. Ooh, is Superman going to Fraggle Rock? I'm Action Comics, and I approve this arrangement. Well, I hope Morton's story is as good as his Salt or his The Steakhouse.
Faster than a streak of lightning.
Faster than the music was cut off.
More powerful than the pounding surf.
Pride Rock is flooded. Now we miss Scar's drought.
Mightier than a roaring hurricane.
They keep replanting that palm tree only for it to get blown away.
Amazing strange stranger from the planet Krypton.
But Winnie the Pooh taught me to be too smart for strangers from Krypton.
Superman.
Well, the horn section's phoning it in today.
Strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
And if he's dealing with the mummy, he'll spend most of his time as Clark Kent. Ah, the office of Armand White, where he carefully crafts his contrarian reviews.
And while on a hunting...
This guy again. Did he quit the Egypt Museum?
Now known as the Henderson Cavern.
That's where Harry came from.
Years ago, he mysteriously disappeared while exploring them further.
He said he was just going for cigarettes.
I found these maps and charts he left.
Yeah, but where are the moon letters on this map?
Wonders and mysteries lay beyond in this vast underground world. Now, if your paper will help finance the expedition, I will take Miss Lane and Mr. Kent with me. And
Perry is trying so hard to stay awake.
Exclusive rights to the story.
Sounds like a great story, Chief.
I'd love to go.
Well,
he's a how-to-use classroom films kid.
All right.
Really thought long and hard about it, huh?
Mr. White, we can leave immediately.
One fake photo transition from my movie later. Now, this cave is directly under Wayne Manor, but I'm sure that won't be an issue.
Careful now. Those are explosives for the...
I got them from this Chekhov guy, but I don't know if they'll come up later.
We're shoving off, Kent.
You're not invited. Forgot to tell you.
So long, Clark.
Okay, now they're being suspiciously friendly to each other. Strange Huckleberry Finn remake. Lois is Disney bounding Snow White's maid outfit. And they take the Storybook Land Canal boat deep into Pirates of the Caribbean or the Calico Mine Train or Radiator Springs Racers or whatever dark ride these rocks look like they're from. The depths of hell? Or is it just the Mechanical Monsters lab again?
It's beautiful.
I mean, I can't see crap, but I assume it's beautiful.
Is that to be our side?
That's right.
Whatever you just said is right. The Phantom of the Opera is here. Superman visits Howe Caverns. Hey, they're filming Doctor Who Revenge of the Cybermen over there. Runaway boat, or float-away boat, I guess.
The boat!
You should have learned from Sam Gamgee and brought a bit of rope. Remember, Lois can fly a plane, can't park a boat. Oh, damn it, I missed my bus. Oh no, they're gonna do it. They're gonna go chasing that waterfall.
But dynamite.
Why didn't we unload that first? I'm Mike Fink, king of the river. Oh, I can never remember. Are those stalactites, stalagmites? It's gonna be bugging me all day. Ow! Lois! Lincoln Memorial? Wait, what? Did we miss a scene? Ah, the Santa Ana Parrots. Yeah, Woody Harrelson from Freebirds. That's why the Egyptology professor is here, because he's dealing with Egyptian gods.
Look at the statue above his head. Why, the resemblance is remarkable.
No, it's just that this team can only draw a finite number of human faces.
My father. But what would they be doing with a statue of him?
Well, clearly they worshipped him as God, and you're going to be set free soon. Mrs. Henderson, you're supposed to present. Lois, did you steal my press pass again? Because if so, I'm leaving you for dead. Pocahontas just jumped off that waterfall. Sure, let's squeeze a backside of water joke in here, too. This is every theme park ride. So many Seuss rocks around Metropolis. Be honest, is my denim shirt too, Jay Leno?
Henderson!
Florence Henderson, you're needed on the Brady Bunch set.
Lois!
They fly now? Order in the court! So they got captured off camera by the tribe of a species that's never explained. Great economy of storytelling there. The Tiki Room birds really are going to make you disappear. You're being put into carbon freeze.
Oh, no.
I know it's a made-up species, but this still feels racist.
This is a job for Superman.
I guess I could sound a little more enthusiastic since I haven't said that in the past couple of shorts. Where was he keeping the cape? Debbie, look! Birds!
Huh? I wasn't listening. Check out this cool snail on the ground.
Debbie! This is where the Haunted Mansion ravens go during holiday. Right, then what did I stab? Marion, don't look at it, Marion. This is not how I expected a Superman-Hawkman crossover to go. Less powerful than an above-average bird claw. So whenever any intruder comes along, they dip them in gold and turn them into a statue? Still more welcoming than Six Flags. The heroics gently untying the ropes music. So which of these bird people is friends with Rick Sanchez, and which of these birdmen is going to be the attorney at law? They're on the hunt for Tippi Hedren. So the boat full of explosions didn't cause that big a rock slide, but a single grenade can trap this entire ancient civilization.
It's really a great story, Lois.
Oh, I know I spent a lot of money funding this expedition, but now I'm just going to set the results on fire, rendering the whole thing worthless. I learned business from Elon Musk. Superman will return and hopefully explain what the hell was going on in this one. Paramount, apparently we sometimes made cartoons that don't have Superman. If they can just preemptively call this cartoon a classic, I'm just going to preemptively say that this riff will win a Nobel Prize somehow. We know it comes about once a year, but what time each year does it come? Help us, Mike Love. Buffalo gal, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? We could be watching It's a Wonderful Life right now. Oh, our story begins inside one of those model Christmas villages you get at the Knott's Marketplace. Oh, it's Charlie Brown's Tree's dad. This week on Dorm Life, Gopher and Shane's hijinks ruin Steph's Secret Santa party. Well, we're gonna take a whole lot of whistling while we work to clean this place. I've been trapped here all night! Oh, Scrappy Doo's working as a Flintstones appliance.
I hope we got pants!
Yeah, so does Tax Day. These aren't orphans, they're clones of a single Precious Moments figurine. And we are all together. I am the walrus. I can see why they stopped giving Sweet Pea speaking parts. Stocking rifle, real normal. Now Baby Herman's pissed. That doll is too small for me to tell if it's a questionably designed monkey or an unquestionably offensively designed person. Why did this kid get a Red Ryder BB gun? Oh, bang goes new Betsy.
They took away my Second Amendment rights.
Ah, this is how Deflategate started. Okay, that one was the kid's fault. You should stop before you turn blue.
I don't care about the other kids suffering.
But my own suffering makes me cry. Never get your Christmas presents from Wish.
Oh boy, an officially licensed cocaine bear.
Oh, teddy bear.
Well, there's the problem. Someone filled your teddy bear with Kraft macaroni and cheese. A crowd of miserable kids. It's like a Where's Waldo designed by Roald Dahl. Our Carney's off the booze long enough for Life Day this year.
Now it's here, bringing lots of joy and cheer.
Human George is delivering the mail to Human Dinkletown. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't glockenspiel and drive.
There is a Santa Claus.
You listening, Virginia?
But once a year, now it's here, bringing lots of joy and cheer. Da, 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 da.
And I thought it was annoying when the Lyft driver just wanted to talk. At what point does Andrea Martin send Anya away from the snowy orphanage?
What's the matter in here, I wonder?
Now, this is the only short to feature Grampy here without Betty Boop. They just got her voice doing those shrill orphans, so that's fun.
Looks like a pretty gloomy Christmas for those poor kids. What can I do?
Well, I certainly can't lip sync.
Huh?
I'll adopt them. No, I'm unfit to care for human life.
Chalamet's Wonka steals that hat.
Got it?
Good thing I'm fashioning these boots out of these Carvel ice cream cakes. He came in through the kitchen window. But what if I were to purchase fast food and disguise it as my own Christmas?
Enough of these tools, I just want to play with the box.
You know, somebody presumably cleaned this kitchen up the way they like it. Here, I'll just break all their own stuff and give it back to them. And spin.
This is the perfect time to pivot to a cooking channel.
This is what happens when you do your Christmas toy shopping at IKEA.
Oh, why'd I do this? I'm going to be spitting blood for days.
This sled later recycled by the robot from A Grand Day Out. Grampy, why are you wasting time here when you should be at rehearsal for the Betty Boop musical? I guess that scrap of parchment fell to rigor mortis. He made the plane first, but he released the steamboat before it. Alfred Hitchcock's North by North Pole. Come on, skip through this and get back to Pee-wee's Playhouse. Well, that's just mechanically unfeasible. Doesn't this orphanage have adult supervision?
There, the newest edition of Guitar Hero.
In an old house in Paris, all covered in vines, live 12 little girls who do nothing but whine.
They're still sobbing, but I'll let them suffer a bit longer.
Ah, and there's Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving feast. Animator's really proud of this gag, huh? Has Grampy been hit with Joker gas? What's with all the laughing? You've heard of closet cosplay? Well, here's kitchen clawsplay.
With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like St. Nick.
You're a weird one, Mr. Gramp.
Now for the surprise.
He's a Salvation Army Santa. Wasn't there a puppy at some point?
You gave us crummy toys, you bastard! Get him!
Santa then sued Grampy for identity theft.
So the toys he threw together in 2 minutes have better structural integrity than the toys that were actually bought on purpose. Couldn't you have done this prep before you woke the kids up? If any kid touches that track, they get electrocuted to death. Whose coffee pot is that? No adults work in this orphanage. Feathers McGraw is gonna hijack that train. Yoshi's Crafted World is less fun than I remember. The way this train's built, there's always a fork in the road.
They'll never recognize this stairway.
They'll be lost in their own house.
Ah, the soap they'll load into the gun from a close shave. There, I referenced the full original trilogy. How many kids are in this damn orphanage?
I'm gonna take these umbrellas and open a shop in Cherbourg.
Good thing they were stacked in order of size. The end of Spoonful of Sugar was less chaotic. I got soap in my eyes! Move over, ballroom scene from Beauty and the Beast. You could have saved time just by giving the kids the toys that are used for the 3D backdrops. Holiday greetings? Man, the war on Christmas started decades earlier than I realized. Santa Claus will return in Oops, Christmas Came a Second Time this year.